Constituency Radio and TV. Constituency Radio and TV. Wow. Constituency Radio, TV. Constituency Radio, your number one station. Constituency Radio, we are live on TV. Constituency Radio, the gospel station in America. We are here to serve you better. Your number one platform, all your business and your commercials. We serve you better. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We serve you better. Your number one gospel station. We are here. We got too close to heaven. King Jesse Radio, you can't stop us now. King's Jesse Radio and TV. I beg what Nasi, but you train some no. Oh, Bessani. Matie Tanie Beya Mensu Matin Sama Kosua Mamansu Medi Mafidi Nakotu Kings Jesse Radio Me Padan Senti Mediato King Jesse TV so Ahona Mehuno Seb Asama Yakanyina Yano Pari Todo Say a politisa Katoya Boa Sichra Unsamu Pefe Urban woman, and in your mind is a grato correct. Seba o mind some so ya could come yami a correct ecoso. The passitemu, Wabrabomu, and in the echo, in the ebo. Our resemu, a jumasemu, a quaya over Fasua, Ubedi, Anopa, drive time show, and you rain so you even drive. Now we can digest so. Yeah, the Bema every weekend. Say a banyamia samsua. Yatuju madia bidi. Shanu didia. Pasia den yumurabia. Saju madia. Ya de shisha suo. Yamba kwai waju madia nusu. I drink chira. You ready to comment? Kiss Jesse Radio and TV. We are here to serve you better. Together we can build. Kings Jesse Radio. Kings Jesse Radio.
Yatide. Kings Jesse Radio.
busia for me mamu ina ajo. Me mamu ahama mwachibio based on wherever you are watching me from. Welcome on board. This is King's Jersey Radio and TV on one station in America. We thank God it's Friday. Gradually, we are getting to the end of another week. Almost there. But it takes the grace of God to finish it. So we thank God for bringing us this far. Yadaya miasi bebre. Said Yadaya yonono. We're here to serve our God and country. Join me tonight. So wherever you are, begin to like and share. Let's move the business forward. This is your station. This is where the diaspora channels their grievances to them there. Yadaya miase every 8 years and kaya Ghana time because before Ghana ni catches the bay at na 4 na 8 yamia do ready at 30 minutes better fast but Ghana time. This is American time. So we share for yaba mo share ni yanko bas netu. We are live on Modern Ghana. We are live on TuneIn. We also live on YouTube, King's Jersey TV. We are live on another YouTube, King's Global Platform. We are also live on TikTok, King's Jersey TV. We are live on Facebook, King's Jersey TV. The family is big. Get ready to ramble. So do you know your share mon come and your share mo boka ho. Say yeni ekuku da mbetwetwe nkomo yedi kan ene yewra. Aye Justin Kodia from Pong. NPP General Secretary anapay yene ne edi nkomo wakansem bebre. Ene efi aba na yedie. Nyame adom yesanso ka se yene yewra Kofi Adams honorable. Ebedi nkomo esanse ono de nyame aye na adom odne atena wiem hyemu awiem odne be pia sometime. And then I say, chances in film cry. Ya dia. Enti ya papa ebe piem e wo studios ya. Ya no ebe din komo. Na NDC amanyokuo no wo New Jersey ano so mpanimfu da no ha. Ya papa James wo ho. James dia. James Amemaso efua yeah afa but I read them too. Thank you very much. And if you have the pa mumfa mo pen ne mo papers ready. Questions no I am on 2 man mo ha screen no mas na screen no na ma text ya because enye obi na betimi agbawura calls no mu said ya be ya betimi apontem. And thank you so much for joining us. Mr. James Amemaso. It's typical ever name, right?
Yes.
Thank you. And this is for every PM of Fidimuha. Master say, I Ghana and Koswo, and na. So, man, be you and you if you knew me, no. Sabi producer, and yeah, attending the babuay. Inti ebasa bresona o frɛ bisa questioner be objective asama da hon bisa na ye move on sane ebeya ebabua na Ghana ye nkan kono etimi etumpon beda masepa na sadia ya shemo bossa ye ne ye papa ye wura ye bibia Kofi Adams honorable one year MP Edema aye Buem Constituency ewo Oti region wahu ampa nyame adom honorable Kofi Adams ewo fie ha asabre yaneno eba betwetwe nkomo sanso na yewura James Amemaso wono oye NDC party no New Jersey, right? New Jersey chapter no una aye branch manager na say chairman
for New Jersey
chairman for New Jersey. Intinde yetie into all this why we have all these members gurus in New Jersey.
Oh yes, we do.
And na charge mo. Ma bom charge pa na makache yewra mahama say emba bi won famra If say my din entimunka.
Yenye din kra ba ucha yi apimfo a ebetua.
And me secretary no amra na have there. If say for me mama akwaba. Honorable akwaba pa one of Ghana banti akwaba na say oje double. Bibi aboko.
Nyame adom ye.
Na oba na efie ti say.
Well, if you dey say fidia ewo henti mostly no musumu 13 ya ekoso efi na asem na dada na bonia ekoso a usori a unhunia eno ana eye nia ewo na no mehwe pinyibi na o say owo New Jersey ha enti MPP beye omo 30th anniversary na ye interview na all can say Africa na bae no na enche bia na onu ababe hu say Ghana no say ono ane party mpenifo na omo wo abem say say no ma say o man no kra omo say bibia enti there's nothing different
wa kan wasema ma
wa kan sem na ma me already enti enye anything say me beka maybe obeka say oh maybe oye NDC ni tina o kasa bet obi a o say ono watena New Jersey have for more than 30 years 35 hitting into 40 and from MPP na sha say any bibia no onim hu bi na ono onhu sa de yeida na ya say o man no say ya ka no kure e kire mpenifo na omukura o man. So that's the state in which we find ourselves. And yegusu afiso akwakoye abato afiniti ama yesu yegusu a yebo ye ya prabo ye ko round ye ni o say
Sunday we be kasa sana modi jawo mo.
Oh, clearly no. Nya ye di jai MPP no senka omuki pin sa kra. Ka ye beka se o mine ye tie. Se nya ye di jai mo. Se nyama bi wo ho a omuka, omu say oh, ena COVID, ena say enti me nsia se free nyama maybe COVID buy no etumi kan. Ye mfa bibi ti say cocoa production. Ye jai cocoa production of 970,000 metric tons and I dey share unsa. And you know so COVID
inti okay right figures now.
Right figure na me ma. And the COVID inti and I kuku and also atia ba down to less than 500,000 metric tons ana. There be winchi she bonia with the toho. In she share a ube dada Ghana for say ena me kuetia galamse me yese na so wishi echi ena wupia mo yesa galamse no enre ya video fufura samba bonting regional minister for western region na otiho na ne candidate for Amenfi east na one galamse for air kasa se a soldier for ne a police for a yede ba se omo metata mo no sisi ade omutumi yesa ade no bio because ya bo mo nyina illegal you say ma omo yeden mo muntu sa na mo no enti se wo wo to galamse ya say wo ye illegal na ono so oba round na so oba ye ne rounds na ye na adwin say oba chiwa ono so ye den or ye illegal tie now so these are the actions ama yen major means na boy sustain economy no this year intumi nya yen koku dodo no eno so ye beka say just that is just one
ode what yes kwan no ntem say what be maybe say kwan so enti no ye mfiase wo beginning na fi as we hura adwompo question na me all right thank you for yene honorable Kofi Adams MP Edema Buem Constituency Ewoti region NDC ena yaneno ewo studio ha ena ye papa James Amema so what does it mean?
Amema so the first syllable ame means human being and then the maso means diversity. So in other sense in other words yes we come in different sizes, different shapes, different heights and different temperaments.
You all right and my member honorable Kofi Adams so na yemisa no hade bibese ye kura hade boko na odi kwanso sanfi Ghana baye yamam ede na ede ba America.
Well me baye me ba America no ejuma papa bia yen party mpenifo especially the New Jersey branch no na yawo branch ha dada na eka one of the old branches yawo bet ekofam enti ekofam no mpenifo eyo nwadwin eye reorganization eka bomma the New Jersey branch no esan ye then sorry biom so to some extent you may be right say na mpenifo ewo hosa ye no kra mpenifo ewo hosa bet na omo hunkeka no confirm kakra and they've worked very hard to reorganize themselves yes and yim mpenifo actively functioning so na imrene drew say afi after reorganization afi na ye then aba also omudi sa anniversary no na this year no so being an election year no onye onwadwin say omo ye bibi targeted at rallying for victory. And he said, Omu yes, Jumedi, now we hear Omuaye in such a short time. Waba a number of interventions in Ghana. Abra VR for Eko Bie, aided by government, Omuko Bie in Sugu, the lower volta basin for Anyama say, they came around. Omu Boabo Ombe Boye, part of the reconstruction process. And they say Omu was sat far away. Now Omu doing Omainu who say any many other interventions are at the party level. Say Omu be di such an event into me can say oh you bet nan crying na zoom ya na ye yes so ye beba na ya bet tie side jumadi enti it's the New Jersey branch of NDC afashia omu eba be ya anniversary omu first anniversary after the reorganization no edime ba enti me church and penifo both former ones our mwahwe branches no so before any more mwahwe say are led by James Amemaso any penifo the organizers the women organizer the treasurer the secretaries and all the executives and the members are mwahwe so mwabwa yaba bedru ponti no ma mfa kwenye nyeden and down ase na minim say we will rally for victory so na enye just for NDC victory for Oman Ghana this year's elections enye about say NDC says ya go beyond that Oman no say yes if Oman the way anyama kono ye mistake Minia ebe so difficult for
is it because more paid to maintain na say mo be use Omano enko ye NDC
Minia enye say ye well Oman ne jenu ye be jinu using the NDC vehicle so the NDC is key here very very key here because you were a leadership that can be trusted. Your leadership.
Some more crowd there might be paying.
Is it?
And my back corner, Manfu who say, well, Moba and Maba say, no, like you said earlier, that now,
me sure say, me I be ye, you know, say ye twan sa, nka, ye be whom ye ma bebre.
Bamu from Sonia,
of course, nipa bien ni ho beka say, me dear, and from Yamin Kwan from seeing then, any. But se nipa da sani wo yadie na se nyema ba na wo be ask conversation no kono memma we few examples how we be the difference between the NDC and the MPP especially the MPP today the MPP today the difference between it and NDC yesterday today and tomorrow and he said there is an institutionalized support of Bonnie in the case of the MPP. Ubi koye bibi ne nyekura ube unse na institution no etai ni panichi. And there are many examples that we can talk about.
Right.
But what they buy NDC ma yenim say ye nipa koye bibi na say nya ye make sure say we allow due processes to be applied. Enchekra abrante bi a ye friend no Manasseh ano ye ku media person NDC abresu edien enyama na wanchro edien investigations na 1 year he never had to flee oman Ghana. Indeed, oh yeah, also cultural book krano. President Mahama was ma obi Emma Okoye oka omo muton ni book na ochroye.
Wow.
And this year breso ye ba no yamfa ya no ankoka say we believe in Anas principle there be yamfa ya no ankoka o. But ye boa Anas to do some of ni juma. Mampinia onoka say he believes in Anas principle no, or ye something to the contrary. Ebiom ukai World Cup ewo Brazil
World Cup, yeah.
Ye ko ba ye ni ku see ye player agitations about say ye tua musika emma wansa no makwa kobo match, all those kind of acts bi a ye nyina ene ye say indiscipline e course no e die na mampinyin ye see yenti an inquiry, public inquiry live na yenhwim yamfa bibia NCAC. Everything was out there for everybody to see. Jeddah issue by ye hu mampini pia say ye hu investigation ye bibia report no wamfa anko chihye baby. He brought it out for everybody, including the media person now leading Nsaka report. At that time, Krano, na ye ni the Right to Information Act, Krano, ne ni ho. Na Right to Information Act, I say ya person ne ni ho. Now so mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wamfa report no amfa nsi ewo bibia. Ene ayese ya ye Right to Information Act no ntin kofo wo ho kwan say ye di information kura ma ho. Afi de ye koye SML report by the then mampeni ka you say onfa mabon team because ye woni for state secrets. Ye onfa mabon team. Be Cecilia say ye wi ani sika no pressure ye de beto no so ama or resign ye no the kind of love letter mampini any, but that will not happen in an NDC administration. Manase ne nuclear udichinti ye chase, he has to run out for safety. So these are not the way things must be done. Of course, Uber in terms of development, whether economic and infrastructure, obianim say omambia to me nkonenim without infrastructure development.
Okay.
And that was why we share even the first president, the founding president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, nyama bia oye ye na nkrofo bebre enye den entiase at that time. Musi o ye nya sa de ye nya too much and so oye motorway no musi na motorway a oye ide or the ye den. Look, when him say in Shishia Dr. Kwame Nkrumah bresu ye motorway or ye for na nchese befa omo befa sen e hona ne cars Ghana for yesi ye nyansa ye to cars amono ne akese no e hona ye di en cars ye den ekofa the space created by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah for cattle to pass e hona ne cars ye den efa. That is visionary leadership. We can NDC ye in terms of infrastructure, from hospitals, health, say regional hospitals, so huge medical centers, say Bank Hospital, Harbour Hospital, UGMC, district level hospitals, and what have you. NDC, without, and you say COVID, and I be been a see and a tree, I drink, say, or say, yesi, and yaresa, ebeboa or mino, ne kanko. Debbie, we knew we needed those health facilities. And the COVID beto ye health minister then, him fa no kodae, UGMC NDC is here. He didn't even want to disclose no kreno say when ya COVID or say he was taking a rest. He was taking, of course, hospital it looks so nice that say a hotel, but it's a health facility.
But more complete.
Of course, we completed that facility. Omuba ya uncle say omu commission and omu dada nipan say planting ho. And the media exposed the minister then because omokoye ekochere that these were plants that were part of the facility. So everything was complete. It was waiting for commissioning. And the minister no say, oh, and generation plant in Kahun and the media did so well and they exposed him on that. Now no ye Mampini free Kumasi Eba, even though on one casa there of a military aircraft not the by a bet and the cars in BBI movie is more like Mampinina Olba or many accident no. In fact, yede omo prior koe the same UGMC UGMC Rich Hospital Greater Accra Regional Hospital, the Dodoa, the Ga East, the many of them spotted all over. MPP, according to them, COVID by and no who say I are sabia then ehia. Na ehia so a move kwa koye so a ye no according to budget capacity. Now, Waka could award 111 contracts, agenda 111, all over. Ebikurano, now even site to Okra, then so you have already awarded. Who does that? We see Kano and so say would be 111 no. Now so what pity Sikano egu. And you are not getting any of the projects complete, even according to one Kasan's schedule now with the share. Minya uwa hei na se nyamia ye wadum ama wenya 100,000 bi. We wajin say upe say uwa intention say ubesi maybe chamber and hall be 10. Umfa 100,000 no. And Kuchua Foundation for 10 chamber and halls. Because 100,000 into me 10 chamber and halls. And then Nyansa Kwanso and then also we say would this can echo maybe first 3. When him say first 3 maybe na me kukuru no aye bibia me rente outa. Sika menyano na me dia share another 2. Me di share another 2 as ya menya 5. Me renti sa 2 no so a ni amenya no na me dia share the 6th one. And also beko by the time I maybe no so no the first 3 no maybe afina sa be wie ya mesa kwa kwaje another what rent bi na me dia beka ho na masan ya another 2. So within a certain period no 10 no obeye. But you start ye di yensika akwa share foundation any lintel say hospital into me for us to benefit from Senka John Mahama so ye na say any so hospitals no me pitino all over ye UGMC the way it is, bank hospital ye no the way it is, ye be ye bebresa na say ye wie a nka COVID ba ye no himfa na nkofo
so eno akoye suban bi a both parties na mowo say yanko kate short no mu say ye be bribi because you know say edenya oman no untimi start ade baako wo bebia instantly wo be wie ha and now be start ha we do no akoye but ye de you want to impress and tell the people say you are on course doing something ti ehona na makotu fom.
Well, that's why I've given you example of inyama bebre ya yesha say ye anka omuso nkyereye one particular infrastructure, whether health and abibisa or mushia or muye, then we can be talking.
Dear Nini office Maya apart from hospitals no Maya Kahua Ghana air benefit as at now.
Oh, inyama bebre and mebo bosu kakra. Another one, any at least who heye die utu kwano or say what the plane or then what the beko. Utuswa weka kolande wo airport. Ukon crisis here the Kotoka International Airport yenim the terminal 3. First terminal 2 ni expansion work, then terminal 3 yedi abeka yenjan wo ho keke. You see there be we say Kumasi Airport no so yen dane no international. So phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. Ye phase 1. Epe sika for phase 2. And yen kati so keke ye bepe sika no ansa na ya ye den ya kwa kate hu sword ye kate sword for phase 2. Phase 2 no contractor no ye phase 2 no and also there's a phase 3 ye phase 3 and phase 2 no ye kan nyina bom a ebe save o man no be about some $4.5 million. So enunti ena abaya ono so wo society ano ono so compare funding for what phase 3. Now phase 3 ne ye be I think 30 something million dollars.
Oh, but really?
Phase 1 was 29 and phase 2 is 67. So a chunk of the funding for Kumasi International Airport and Prempre the first international airport was an NDC initiative.
Okay.
Then you come to Tamale, also international airport. And in terms of air transport, that is one area. Then you come to what? The seaports.
Alpha na MPP abe omega because at the end of the day MPP abe finish ni awububosi eno kra na akakakra because
omunyam ye
Kumasi kra de
omunyam ye Kumasi de omunyam minim ye ntia omurashi to go and then commission adia yentumi use it wa commission adia no so yentumi use it, so I don't even understand because omunyam ye. Then you come to seaports. The expansion for both Takoradi and Tema ports. The MPS facility now ebaye and allowing our ports now to run 24/7. Then that of Takoradi. MPP by and winning Yaumabeye, they have appointed the director of ports for Kita. Bra even any port via Ewoho. You've appointed a director for ports and yet consultant for Keta Port Project. Director of ports are OGG salaries and allowances and all the facilities for a non-existing port. Me, in all my reading, in all my life, me say you are appointed director of a non-existing facility that it's only under the MPP that at least if maybe you say
be assassin da ho omobeye nti say
the assassin da ho obeye awunyanye no now appointed director then obeye o radio ni TV station ha wunyanye radio TV ni station no now wunya idea no now appointed director of the TV station already abra now wunya chance say wo ye for years for years na nipa no da salary so say you sika ube no
say director no say e bi ade na ye best start no wona oba ba hwe say ye be wie obviously say metua obre hoka
and why say omonfa obi a na owo project understanding of the project say okay we maybe project consultant
okay
we can appreciate that. We can appreciate that. So clearly make us say then of course, rail development. Oko Western region, the rail system na yejuma ewoho. Then, of course, the major one na ene ye kan ho asem so much. Every tema eko akosombo ene yedi akọ mpakadan. Na metre wunyi ntia na nka butaye a eda NDC ni say yendi kan enye to akosombo because already no yewo insuso transport system ewo from Akosombo all the way to Bipe or say insuo no eba down kakra Debre say idru opebre so na say insuo no levels no sometimes eba down one they get to Debre but insuo no levels no soro kakra they go all the way to Bipe enti yewo sa system no ewo already enti yenye rail from FEMA with the intention of both cargo and human. Immediately, no, ubenya the value of sa rail system, no, because of cargo down here then air fast because passenger no ensheda mfa so bia embre rail. Cargo movement and then mfa so then eba. So the cargo kind of you raise revenue from cargo to support the human passenger movement. But when you rail with loans, with the mindset, say, with the baby passenger, it doesn't happen anywhere. So the idea of the NDC was to have it run and connect with the harbor that is there for the water transport. Afedi omuba no omafa ade no etwansuo no so e de akọ Mpakadan. Na Mpakadan ho no, there is no port that connects to the water body easily to make use of that real system na eden faso be den bebreye easily. It needs another huge investment again to be able to create a port connected from Mpakadan to the water system and to utilize it. So they have failed in changing, varying that project. Project funding, project design, and NDC na secure the funding for Tema to Akusombo rail project. And that is what is in record. Omoba ye amuse omoko akoye sky train. E form de okura untumi nye wo say esro de na wo akoye. Yoko kutua 2 million wasted away to a company any license. Minya oman amwum. Oman US ha but say obidi oman ni sika. E de be kwa akoshe company no wonya even a minimum due diligence. Say license kura ye de a removal no omu ni bi. So you had 2 million from Ghana Investment and Infrastructure Fund created by John Dramani Mahama. Say, you had fund the beer, counterpart funding to possibly private sector injection into yen infrastructure development. So that Omaino ye kwa kope sike babeye bibia. Sa Ghana Investment and Infrastructure Fund ebeye the source of counterpart funding to many collaborative projects. E hono muko yi 2 million e de koma sa sky train ani ya besine ye hu bibia ye sika ye den afa. But again America, even size of government was equally another area that you have to look at, because inyama bebre mabubo in the area of transport, aviation, water, harbor, any rail was run by just one ministry. One minister of transport and a deputy minister. Abayi ba ni ede no ye ochuchu just that one ministry into pieces. Na your aviation minister. What I say hona Madam Cecilia Abenada Park she has here first aviation. Then we had railway the development, baby Anajo Gate ewo. Then we have transport also standing. So ministry nanka one minister and a deputy and no more to reduce cost and to manage, because enye political heads and no more so much. So you don't need more political heads. What you need are the technical brains that run affairs, not political, not plenty political heads. So a ministry that was being headed by just one minister, one deputy, yechichemu to a minister and a number of deputies. Then so still, no, they haven't added anything new.
As a munim, you know everything, but no. When you as a damn which nature, but the moment you get the nod, now your master say, Maminka Sembi, Mekai 1990s, 99 bano, na me kosku takrade kojokrom. Say Yamaka na me back to me chroma, agonia chrome. Na me papa a train driver. There was a train from Takrady to Accra. Mefo na me besi wa acrosso na mafaka besin komi krom. E de na ama saade no ma maintain na mum ye be mum ya be se no e ma akoya de foforo se creating railway kura no yes I at the boy hombrane. Meanwhile we had the train system na abua villages in Riania Horowa na Yesuaba. At that time na NDC na power.
That's the what's in 19 that's a multi-million question that must be asked. And until you revive the real system with the Kojo Kurundia okay with even new coaches, you build the new tracks and all that. And when him saying Accra through in Sawam Bienu. Yes, ye railings, no, atom as scrap.
Yeah, me kai obi ko twitwa bia to not atonton scrap. Na say ade mama na da wache. Won ya dia.
Well, men can say ya as if say ye na this. Catch omu eja
anya 2016 ya na mu fi so.
And I say if you 2016 ya na ade no eye ejuma kura ma omu ba power kura ma omu ye den omu jai eye cable bi kura ekoto ho ma railway for akoye hu ejuma ma shocky obako kura ma nipa no efamu wuye, may he so rest in perfect peace. Efamu wuye just because of another level of what abandonment. Afedie koye ni year na really sinu na wakwa saton as scrap. That's the state in which we find ourselves. But now the story now American is to indicate say one minister, one deputy, the Mpakadan, the Takrady Kojokrum rail system, the Harbor, both Tema and Takrady went on, the Kotoka International Airport, Terminal 3 and Terminal 2 renovations, of course the Kumasi Airport, the Tamale Airport, the Ho Airport, the further renovation of the Wawan and other initiatives. Saying Ejumeni na Kosu, one minister, one deputy. You bet you move with one aviation ministry. You be say you say again aviation na yetunya. Even some of the local airlines are now more running locally. No, we couldn't sustain our aviation industry through the creation of what the aviation ministry. You waste sikaye enu ye ya afedi ye gusa ministry no.
Indeed, do you believe in a policy say anka yade best to say wo ye bribi na wentimi enwie na yetu abangu ana abatu abre yi mu firu ha abayon obeba no emra no esese wie dia
generally in the constitution
to the benefit of the people on
generally in the constitution ewomusa. That was why the NDC continued a lot of the initiative of President Kufo. Look, President Rawlings and na Bresu and a pilot for health insurance. Now the idea was to have a national health insurance. The position of the MPP then that was communicated by ranking for health, Dr. Kwame Adokufo, because me come as a man, na boarding because luckily he's alive. So that was that my national health insurance in the way the NDC was proposing. Yenjaino ubian konkoye ne own the like insurance system. That was their position. Abraham war opposition. But President Kufo bedi idea uhunya President Rawlings ayenu. He carried it on and established health insurance, albeit district level, mutual or mutual. But yeba ya yehun say we two anamon. Anamono nye bad. What we did was to correct it and make it national in character. So President Milsa Bresu and yebe passe imra ehwe health insurance ya yenu national health insurance. That is making a programmer buying fufru HRS yenu making it what better. In the same vein, President Kufo ebeye Metro Mass. Before President Kufo banu kayewo OSA. When you say na yewo OSA systems are yejuma, we could have pushed the OSA to continue and to run further. But we decided say, well, yenye Metro Mass. The Metro Mass yes, here with buses I think Italian government na oche some right-hand driven buses and yadi share jumadi na se. When him say NDC ba no company no kra no ni din yansesa yanye bibia danso NDC abreso ena yema metro mass buses afofro because it is something na ebeboa or mine. So in here say we work across the stadium because who to us wa Yebeka say a MPP project ena went to one far with the amba and think yensi sadi yes sir. So we kept metro mass but improved it with fleets of what buses. We kept mutual health insurance scheme and made it what national. We didn't have to almost say ye to guna yes sadi na ye no ye metu no din foforo na ye ka say ye ba ye no ena ya ye bibi no na ye wo bibi a ye friend no national mobilization program.
Okay.
Understand MPP e ba ye omu be good national mobilization program, then in place introduce national youth employment program. When him say ye ba ye no yengu nya omo be ye no say ye be gu eno na debi ye shemu din yemra to back what today we have the youth employment what authority. That is what we do. Ye nation builders. Yengu nya na ewo school feeding inchishia wa wonde ba ye no ye ba no ye den na ye shemu din and make sure that more schools that needed to benefit ye the one be ye then ebe shemu. That is what we do. We don't stop project. Look, Eurojet projects no na President Kufo abreso na initiative but the funding sources and the rest collapsed and everything, so it didn't work. When him say we secured other funding sources without changing the names of what those projects. That is NDC for you. Yes. And one thing as Encrophobia say, ena mo edien na mo aye, edien na mo aye. Sometimes bonso a mo media no or say mo expose one. Say enye about edinto, enye about bringing, but it's about making it better. Like the free SHS argument here, yeke. Obianim say free SHS in the form it is now, no, essay and education. It needs to be made and made better.
Let's just say, is it because of lack of funds? Well,
lack of funds here, dear Baku. Now, so proyene katasi so another key. No, but ma tio. Another example, another
advantage in say NDC no one
another
is because when your opportunity to go far and
I will know, but yes, so yet now be for 8 years. The same 8 years are more better than a year more we were there for 8 years. For crying out loud, we were there for 8 years. Look, the beginning of Omain Ghana say yebenya fangu husika. From the NDC time with one oil field, the Jubilee oil field. Now, so Sasikano ye di share Ghana in Puntum and no kahubi ena ye ko pay support EDBC Ghana Gas, a whole new company and unti ene Ghana sika ye de ikra gas be over $300 million every year no ya service as kano by establishing the Ghana Gas Company and this ya breso and ye two sa na mum and we make sure say yen oil find no so that we don't spoil everything now no we created a heritage fund, we created other funds so that sikani binu ye de be then ye de be share those funds for utilization. When him say COVID the buy no sika abaini di kind eco fire to support the economy no was from the funds that the NDC created and nurtured to grow. And the inyama bebre ena yen eya ye. Ask yourself, say omoba ya yes are the 2 oil fields, 2 additional fields, 10 and Sankofa ediko kan Jubilee hu ema wonu. We had only 1 field though. But Abraham Mubabe diadieno, not 2 fields. Ye diaba on stream. Almost no mubenya no sikani nekeka. Bisa say ediena yaye. Our debt has moved from 120 billion to over 657 billion.
One ebetias are debt.
Where say mini say it ya.
Do you see
Baumiani Akufo-Addo
Ghana, are we that poor?
Well, Ghana is not poor.
It's not poor.
No. Ghana is not poor.
Are we country as a Besia?
Well, as for Besia, you bet to me about Besia because untumi nya bibia ewo hu eti say oba krom ha ebi wo ho a nipa bi wa japade bi maybe we si dan ana wo asase no wo ne value dan no wo ne value utumi de ko Besia utumi de ko ye arrangement bi na wa ba be ye bibi na impuntu ye den eba wa bra bonum ana kronum so Besia bane de enya dia eye wrong but nya ye de sika no ye den eye untumi nko Besia enfam be ye party
Dubai amko Besia
untumi nko Besia enfam be ye consumption
ye hu ni
untumi nko Besia enfam be ye payment for salaries. Those are the wrong things ye de Besia ye den eye.
Okay.
Eno nenia enye because for example me catch earlier say NDC abreso ye call China CDB eko Besia yen saka the 1 billion eno na ye de see Ghana gas.
Right.
Ghana gas etia for that 1 billion already and is making profit. Enti wutu mi ko Besia e di ko share ade bi mu a ebe ma wo mfaso.
Won say abra ye Besia no na o dwen kwan abefa so a ebibi bedu a obegya Besia mbo. Ba ye de ye bona ye de ma ye na ye de na fidie complacency
because minua ye fan share investment a edem faso bebre. Look at the inland port ya ka ho asem any the way ekwan mo afaso katasihye ne proye money company akon inshishem through omofa all the processes enya opportunity say omu ena wo say omu kokoye ejuma no na mo afa echi etwa saade no mo de kwa akoma obi foforo at even a higher cost many wo kase yanhwe ni ya judgment debt eba beto yeso as far as the Buankra inland port no concerned because of this administration.
Yes Mahama so on no tongue Temaport. Is it true?
That's now meeting or some platform.
Yes, a portion say a woman a department what town baby 35 for 35 years.
But the His Excellency President Kufuor Abreso and MPS.
No, sasa na nyano krese Mahama ton.
Of course no krebe anim. Na Mahama owo Temaport document hu to me say obeton nka se Mahama ton Temaport anka no nam ho a na so adwinu
so why do people make such statements?
Well nya omu kanu ti o MPS say omu be ba Ghana President Kufuor Abreso ena odi won ba Ghana, so that's the first time MPS came to Ghana. But under the NDC and under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, MPS Juma was further enhanced and omu build a terminal ye friend no MPS terminal omu operate a ho na the only terminal me no ka say air function 24/7 woko tema habo says here terminal na juma 24/7 no MPS terminal. So they build, operate
ownership near Ghana for there.
It's build, operate and transfer.
By who?
Build MPS.
Okay.
MPS ewo area bia mrenu nyandru ye. There are a number of years. Na say ade no nipa no te say but you benefit from some form of revenue. Ade no omu operate ya omu dividend bia omu den ometua amount. And na ports tema habo nankasa so ewo omu percentage ewo. So it is not like 100% for them. And it is build, operate, and transfer. So everything goes into it. Me babaye this investment. Me invest say we are me raneno for this period. Na me di aye den, na me di amount na ababaye odi. To say the Ameri plant arrangement na eba ye no.
Okay.
Say you would after a certain years of operations na ababeye den ababeye wodie enne ebeye ye denti enna aban yi etumi yi bi ediko Kumasi to establish almost 6 units echo because there are 10 units 10 units and on we yi then 25 10 and am I that 250 or we 6 of the 10 ediako Kumasi to establish a new enokurano. The cost of relocation alone was about $36 million. How?
Ebusiafo yene ye papa yewura yen honorable Kofi Adams MP dema Buem Constituency ewoti region ena yene ne edi nkomoi sanso ena ye papa James amameso edino obisi o explaining ye pa brilliantly explained the amameso wajia tumpa ena yenom ebon komo ewa ha eyumbre abresu a mama mo bes ma aduasa mo bie phone lines na wa frɛ na o question bia na we bisa but ma membra honorable su bio sese yenim se mo prese mo ba ban mu
Sure.
obia the message be na ndisi kuta.
Well, the NDC has a lot of messages. One of the key messages in Yenim say unemployment, a major killer. And of course, infrastructure development.
Okay.
So what per se or mambia bekon enima, you cannot ignore infrastructure, and you cannot ignore employment generation because enunti enayeka the 24-hour economy. In the 24-hour economy, in the 24-hour,
and then obia see muchiremu muntiminchiremu and not the 24-hour economy no obechiremu.
The 24-hour economy there abrochire had here mumu already. So you understand it better than more imagine say you can't maybe say 24-hour economy. The last time I explained it so simply for somebody say your service areas be what run from maybe an upper 8 above 5 no more. And I gave example of say for example like maybe DVLA. DVLA should be able to run 24/7 so that we juma yeni we kwe juma from 8 to 5 and yafe na ube jwani free we juma mu say because DVLA bepon by 5 me jai me juma akwa renew me car documents and akwa renew me license because when him say DVLA be ye juma 24/7 you will focus why you we juma upon now why you then what
obey for how many hours?
Obey for 8 hours.
Obey when him say ain't mean ya possible.
Why I didn't think
ain't mean enye ye because one nipa na wo tua na kabo so me no Ghana ya attitude so ko you say 66 e bi kura to mi shemu a one person now aketua no me ba se be ye ya e be ye pa one 24-hour economy no already we say be ye we should have a permanent solution to electricity. Well, with this kind of doom say hospital
in 83 even before then it had happened. But the 83 was pronounced and yenya energy crisis,
right?
And no na inform me abaya na also say hey yentumi fa yeni ensi hydro nko and you say yes say ye two anamo to have alternative source of what energy generation.
Okay.
And no and na ede aboise thermal plants the aboise thermal plant via ready kind ekoye under President Rawlings because no mu say hydro no rely on God nyankopon ma insuo to a dam no beye maye ama yetimi aye then a generate hydro so you cannot rely on hydro only as on mine enye reliable eye cheap nanso enye reliable so or say winya alternative so that just in case ni esi in the 80s ni ebisi bioma ye wo alternative e wo ho So ye den share ebeto ho. Well, President Rawlings here the Abuaze Tema plant came on board. Then MPP BD they suspended the alternate program. Okay, say Dr. Charles Rekubrobe or describe abra energy crisis in see no or say then toy generators. Toy adie ya mbofra edidi agro or see generators now mukofa buy when he was there toy generators. Now that was the time asophobi eko akosomo eko bompaye say nyankopon ma insuenye den ento. So NDC but President Kufoso etu anamobi but anamona otu ye no was to add another hydro. But on Bui me no ka say Bui is performing like a picking plant. Enye planta running all through. So it tells you say the issue of hydro no, even though a cheap no enye reliable. So NDC buy no na adieno esanbe 2 year bium, and it was made worse by the fact say the West African gas pipeline yingina yedi yensika akoshim to help build sa gas pipeline. Gas pipeline Nigeria, Benin, Togo, and Ghana. These 4 countries and you put yensika together to build the West African gas pipeline so that you the better gas from Nigeria through to Ghana. Now feed into the various plants now according to the quantities then now your contract says. And ship be ebe say sa pipeline. Ship nebe say sa pipeline. Even though the gas pipeline was there, into me for gas in free Nigeria through it to support all these countries. That was one big problem. So plants na woho gas only no omunya then omunya gas because the gas pipeline was damaged. Then nia kanoso no na endorse. So the government have to put in place emergency arrangements. And na Eddie and Mary any other generating plants here then Eddie buy. MPP buy no omunti energy sectors in inti Eddie no beka omusi ye mahon excess power. Omusi excess power but inti ase niminti say in energy there is what the Ghana Energy Commission can say you would have to have between 10 and 15% allowable excess. So that because bibi to misi na wenya backup bit to it. So it wasn't excess capacity that is not allowed in the industry. It is an industry allowed excess. Now so omotinase na debia ena mahama MISS ena mahama MISS without understanding say Mahama had a dream of industrializing Ghana. And in industrializing Ghana, you need energy. You can't industrialize without energy. Because that was the same vision Dr. Kwame Nkrumah enyaye. That was how Akosombo came into being. So Mahama had a vision. But SS power, SS power. And they didn't do anything. In the midst of the SS power, no, Yesabe drew pointer. Ene yewo dumsom. Ubia we see yama we o papa jawa japade more than necessary. Nanso what na swa ma bibia ye den akoma. Wasa go back to the same state that you were in, the family was in before o papa eye nia oye. So eye no say we need power. But we have an understanding of how to generate the power. Just as we did our mobile and almost SS power, no? We have the understanding. Says here, the issue of nuclear power plants, also idea Ghana cannot ignore because Dr. Kwame Nkrumah says Utusana. That's why we had the atomic area Ghana. Says what Dani residential area and Sassing in ya Tunton in Eddie Kusi Adain. So we may not be able to build the thermal plant in such an area, the nuclear plant, for energy generation purposes. Into maybe in that area, but that whole idea, that concept is there, that is seriously being looked at. Plus the other generations and utilization of gas now, even as we speak now, some of the fields are still flaring the gas. And many we are doing say energy is key in this industrialization business, and the NDC understands how to deal with the energy situation. And na yenim, but nyana me can say yeah possible no, because nipa okwe juma na adwun no say oh ejuma no de me ye ne de a se manye ne a ochina meye wonim yanti a eba, because ono nkwa na oye responsible for that schedule. But in the 24-hour economy, where you have to hand over to Amma will have to hand over to Ajwa. So when you are handing over the file to Ajwa, you must state a Juma 1 year for the 8 hours. And they want to mean kontena hokeke. Abra files aba wenima o yenwe Juma, because you are not the only person who is going to handle that file. Accountability within, because 8 hours no so another person is coming to take over. When that person is coming to take over, no, or bet there should be handing over notes every day. And you want to mean koda or file, so file no to baby say oh idea my no oh enemy call papa sia kwa bibi ntimi yan ejuma oh maybe me no next week. You don't have that laxity anymore. Ukwe ejuma na wo ye 8 hours upon should be take over. Don't you hand over?
Of course.
Now say ukotena ho na wan ye hwe what are you going to hand over to the next person?
Ghana nkasa na yen
ena make say that behavior no, the 24-hour economy will solve it.
Ena make us 24-hour economy. Ena make us explanation is still ento amount of me. Inuma horo be na wo ho a ye de be 24-hour economy. Da be na mo be create bi aka ho.
Enti na me share say me kire wo some of them, like some of the service industries.
All the ministries ni na mo ba
Debbie. Not all the ministries. Ministry there, some of the ministry areas, special units of a ministry bia and a department be or say juma ebe baake another one utumi run 24 no omubeye juma enye every staff that must do 24 say you can say because you can say 24 hour until everybody is going to
juma, so it doesn't affect me.
Well, that is why you will have an incentive. Now incentive na ye de be ma wono uhwe na se be boa we juma u take advantage of it u betimi a expand ama wo profit base no so aye larger adenti na wo be fast adem which business person will say oh ya ma maybe tax incentives and others plus energy support ubenya energy no cheaper, because mostly no Ghana ye koda we don't utilize our power again. We say oh you are off peak. So off peak period no, we want to utilize it and make sure say industries can plug in. And the time of use meters no, ebema wa obe plug in during that time. In addition to normal time ejuma waye no, instead say we bet you maybe say 18 Ghana cedi per kilowatt hour biana yetua. Would you maybe ye be ma 9 Ghana cedi per kilowatt hour. And the will cost of production then eso. So sa will cost of production neighbor forma will profit ni ye then a bekosro. So out of the profit na akosro no, you see fabi na fa tia additional stream of workers na wo ye then offer. So when on mine will profit what they maybe 50% at the employment to pay the staff, and the other 50% become your profit. So that is the private sector area. Of course, agro processing. Will continue to import tomatoes, mangoes. Nancy, I had the report by mango cry, crabby free Burkina. Burkina Burkina omukunto kwa buy yes omu ehona yeko tomatoes ehona yeko for mangoes and so on and so forth, because yebeye poalugu yakwa kutia $11.9 million edi ama Pawe China group omunye hwibia ewo Palugu omudi ensika ako. And if we are done at least that dam, one village one dam now almost muko akweni sika hina hawa kumsun say yedi amano or say yamanu 250,000 Ghana cedi for a dam, and that you cannot build a meaningful dam.
Hey, is it possible?
Say sano no because 250 and see into me yeah meaningful dam, but abayin be catcher ye say ye kwa koye one village one dam, and the money they give to hawa kumsun according to her no 250,000 Ghana cedi to do a dam. Anything I want to me a meaningful dam. Meaning I converted $11.9 million. Actually $11.92 million converting it to cedis. Na yen sika hinya ewom. Na say ya junkra say how akumsin say 250,000 Ghana cedi into me a meaningful dam. Na yen page mukram emfanko even 1 million per dam. Na the number of dams anka yebetumi aye individually to solve the problem of agriculture in the north. Now so sa sikano ayira na anu ye ko bisa na omo de statement biaba say oh ye ko ye topography, environmental impact assessment and so on. Meanwhile all those assessments were done as part of the work before amu award contract. Ningina wo be ye sa de ningina mo ye hu drawings mo ye hu course and sana we say hydro dam no ebe course ye say dam for irrigation no ebe course ye say before you awarded those contracts. Indeed, the former minister for food and agric Ebe Kai, and he gave us a figure that was used in all the feasibility works, that it was between $60 to $70 million. And that is true because the feasibility works here under President Mahama in 2013. Yekonya sekana yedi yes our feasibility studies, it came from Agence the France Developmental Bank omu and omu support your money with technical support from World Bank. And the VRA did the feasibility from 2013 and finished in 2018. And no enna PV equino to be able to cost everything, and in 2019 the MPP administration headed by Nana Danko Akufo-Addo and Dr. Baumia Eko Kate sought for that project, and nothing had happened. But Yakwa Kutua $11.92 million to a company wasasani nyame free o mine ako.
I am much interested right now, since I'm open power banner. We still want you to tell us more on what Mahama the 4 years obetimi abia, because enunso akoye a little deficiency say obi oba 4 years there ontimi ye bibi ono an oka say aban bia no obetimi de 4 years aye bribi. Now 24-hour economy no so my office here say ena ebia maba na pa 6 to 2 obi beba 6 eba start 6 friends at 2 p.m. no e de akobe 11 na ne ho nso abetua so de akwa na pa already adwumafo kura yentimi ntua omuka ne omo ye single we kura no aketua ne kem sa benefits na wo kase ebe baso no. How is it going to work out?
You were just saying
we need chunk money to pay people, which of course is going to employ a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, you were just saying, ebinumunye productive, and I've given you an example how the 24-hour economy shift system, ebema like yet say taking leave. When you enter Kofi brain person or moko leave or Ghana, because nipa no call leave, he has to hand over until we to beba beda.
Baby okra ejet me tum by force.
So nipa pese omobe call leave kura. But with this system, no, because of the regularity of handing over, anything I might to say USA, anything when you say proyene katashi say no ewo, but it's a bit lower. It's not so much pronounced in many places.
Yes. Because
of the regularity of wako. You finish these days that you work, it doesn't belong to you. Sorry if you are then file na you are expected to handle the file up to a certain stage, so that nipa ebe take it from you, onoso be fan from the stage now we would to the next one. So the 24-hour economic system force productivity. And once productivity is there, no, you are going to make more money. So you would then now be able to pay people, including those who go and were pretending say and of course, it's not everywhere that you will be able to run the 24-hour. We understand that. But assuming, say, even 50% of the sectors you are able to run, plus the new ones that you will add, especially agro-processing, and the rest are where they buy back, you will make it. You will make it. And of course, we be say a question be earlier. Say, Nkrofoka say, na 4 years there, then I'll be meaning Ghana, yen constitution, 1992, May, ye 2 year, ejitunun, Emma Mampini Bia, ye 2 abamawa, Emma 4 years, ye ma 5 years, and a ye ma 6 years, and a ye ma 8 years, because ye nim say, in 4 years, no. Ubeye bibia ebe sonipa nim say yeah, they give you opportunity to continue. Yes, the fact say Mahama beba beye so much ontumi ntwaso no doesn't mean say my man no kwan ma on man meye nya obetumi aya eye papa. And because of that nti yemfama obi a onu ontumi ye because o say me wo 8 years. Nipa no Nana de danko Akufo-Addo okofa Dr. Buem Abano. Edia no ka kire o se enunti na meko akofa brantie oboa President Kufuor ye omoboa no mo ohwe sika no so ma sika no gina yie enti makofa naba because here see the aye hata at that time during Mills and Mahama era 2 CD to $1. Now no babe meaning at the time Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo take over with Dr. Buem as president and vice president. Now who cost $1 we here just 3 CD 72 pesos. Now was $1. In we here $1 you have to arrange for 16 CD. Asana wunsaka $1.
Okay, who Jessica CD kope dollar 16 CD. Wow. And 16 CD to $1. Any less than 4 CD to $1 no. One would you say we manage economy ni. And no honorable Canada Japan or Kadebia bra no ye ne campaign. See, look, the MPP have no message say answer Dr. Buem because ono eno ye chairman of the economic chairman of the na say no kra no kan no kra no da ho a na nipa no kan there's nothing to say about it no kra no kan assembly da ho a we say look Dr. Buem you are the chairman of the economic management team uti ho ena ura ya osafoma for beka say Dr. Buem you be a say economy ni gina here yemfa abasobo no nyina anye den emfa manu because he is like an activist chairman of the economic management team. Exactly. All those accolades nyina na wo bo wuti wo gini nyina to so. The president also went to parliament and praised him. In all those times, you know, now Economic and Intelligence Unit report now Modiba in 2016 has indicated the performance of the economy in 2017 and 2018. Who check your report it's shown predicted economic growth rate of between 7 and 8%. And they stated again, say, whilst they are predicting, say, the MPP will win the elections, the economic performance in 2017 and 2018 will not be as a result of the decision of Partia Ebedin Kunim, whether it was NDC or MPP. It was as a result of positive decisions already taken. Omuka saadi ni na ewo mu report mu. Now indeed, MPP bedi adie omu wini 2016 na omu form a buying in anaye handi over 7th January 2017. After 100 days in office, ehona Dr. Buem say omu initiative no na ama sesi ano ya $1.
Edi na shedem aloki edi safuama IGP. Meanwhile, in 100 days in office, no, wo budget kurano, prepare, any policy bia. So the stabilization of the currency then could not have been linked to the MPP, any MPP initiative in first 100 days. A hon and trono esiasie.
All right. Okay, maybe a phone line, so no, but me afraid. But in the meantime, I remember Mr. James Amamaso. So one year a year chairman, and Edema, New Jersey chapter NDC. One more eba year or more anniversary, and in Tinema, Yatun Safre, Honorable Kofi Adams Manaba, Ordinary Yam Ebe Teach Yashi Wunkrane. Eja Aquababio. Boko dear. Me pesa which NDC for Ghana for a hell. Jumedia Mubedi, why the anniversary this time? Is it because about to blade doing tea? Namodi share that share. What is NDC members also doing to support Mohammed's victory to be actualized?
That's a question. In the first place, honorable as I say, your friends on New Jersey, was spending the time joining Abba celebrating reorganized anniversary. Before then, New Jersey for and New Jersey NDC for executive committee members, planning committee members, and party I had the danu 24 more and son yes I reorganized me down Marcy say ya kabum and I push say party a begina ye. Anniversary say we reorganize me the profoka krabi fra no. I won't say between broken.
Yeah, that's just blend it. Feel free.
Marty. The party no ha New Jersey have very dynamic, but maybe I came no na a conform kakra until reorganizing by 2 years ni roughly a year and a half and I started until na see just say man crofo I want New Jersey hanging na and him say ye wa wa wo dwen o man ho wa wo fe say na Akufo-Addo ba any ba omianu administration no a nightmare and my own and they just say wo de wo ka ho bi see the be a betimi rescue your country no enti ye bota and say ye be ma nkrofo bebre ehun say ye wa ha first and foremost na ye nyina no obi antimi nye President Mahama ba ebe ye fundraising kakra bi on New Jersey because of that, because of juma ye wa hanutina ama president no abahananse abetwem o kan say onu nko ontimi nye juma no ontimi nye election abes successful ye hia obi a obadwen si de bia ye betimi aye juma ai ye be ye de ye nti wa ha no on my platform no say ye pese ye fa message no to her
right
say party no wa ha on New Jersey nipa bebre enim. But so far, we have more than 100 people are registered. Together, we can rescue our country. Because what is happening in Ghana right now, a nightmare. We are Ghanaian, honorable, in fact, to be honest, with so much admiration for you. And yes, but you have really impressed me in a way that you know whatever is happening. What Bobby Bia, what would see and ultimu say, Ghana ye say, Peumaya, you bet me, I can say, this is where I'm from. That's our homeland. But the cost of Siciano, and yet, yes, strength of Bobby you don't have to be NDC person. We are Ghana Nina who say, Omainuinia, joining hands. So the bear, or you bet me a ye, you but I know.
Until Ochina. Brebe na mo fiji media na sana venue no san tisubiem.
Yes, venue no 52 Park Place or Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
Zip code is 07102. You better just exactly 2 o'clock. Ya friend penny 4BR on the aggressive occasion. Bini honorable Kofi Adams wahasisia wakabibia achre. And ye 1 penny 4BR former spokesman for President Mahama, Mr. Malo,
right?
Ben Duche Malo, Sisiano Oyejuma or UN, Onusu Obebebi, and 24 Kakra Mohani chiefs and community leaders. No, 2 in South from NDC 4 Omo New York, any and I gonna form more New York ni Connecticut ni Rhode Island ni no ya two in South from Montin Crawford beba ye pese obia beba say the beya together no we can do something here to support our party to rescue the country. Rally in New Jersey for victory.
Thank you. For Sabri, Mama Mokwana, Mobisa, Honorable Kofi Adams, Cross Mesrel, and yet in attacking form. Bisa questioner, Ufi, say, would you a man and can kohua? Sir, and this ya yebribi, Nanko ya, Odia Bisano. Na onfa akumatoyem in ya no mayen, if say Munti and Yawaha. Na yina enter 732-798955-848-2600-913. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Abe.
Papa.
Inform to say.
Nyame adom pacha wonso e.
Yeah, nyame adom. Honorable honumwa. Me pese me huno. Honorable Kofi.
Yes.
Adams, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Welcome to United States.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I won't declare my party alliance. Maybe I was with the lady. But my question is, you have done a very good job as it is this evening. Answered a lot of questions, and I really appreciate it. And I've seen that now you have grown and you are seeing the whole thing as the light is shining over you. So I really appreciate it. I won't take you back to the old times before the MPP took over 8 years ago. But my question is, my first question, I have about 3 questions for you. My question
snappy, be snappy.
Yeah, why is it that when these 2 political parties that we accept comes into office, refuse to continue the job that the old person did and then leave it in the bush after spending a whole millions of dollars, and then you come and then start another one, and then they also come and then leave it in the bush. So now, with what is coming from my heart now is, can we forget about any other stuff apart from technological stuff coming, and then these 2 parties go back and rebuild all those things that we have left in the bush rotting? Because John Mama, your government ordered the ambulance. It's all right there. We can see it live from United States rotting. And then the MPP also brought in and it's working now. So how can we waste this money? And then my last question is, you are in parliament, and then we saw a minister, you are in the same pulpit, the whole place, in the same, wherever you are, in the parliament, brought about $35 million in cash and gave it to America for free. What are you guys doing? And then somebody also took about $6 million and left it in Alaska. Come on. And then we bypass all this money and go and borrow money from IMF. Are we doing God's service to ourselves and building our nation? Let me tell you the last thing before I complete. Finally, the American politician, every average American politicians in the Senate or in wherever it is, comes and say, my service to the nation. They don't think about their pocket for the nation. But I see that we Ghanaian politicians come and say, oh, what can I make from Ghana? But Americans say, what can I do for my nation? People think. Thank you so much, and you are come.
Thank you.
Please, you are blessed and you are here. Thank you so much. God
Thank you very much. I will allow Honorable to answer your questions for you. But before then, let me pick 2 calls at a time so that we hello, good evening.
Good evening, Abe. GCOP Nakasayo.
Mo from France. Thank you.
Yeah, GCOP Nakasa from France.
All right.
Abe,
papa.
Yeah, me pese me chia honorable. Honorable me chia Penny Amemaso, me chia no so. Me chia oti for nyina me chia mama babs ani obia. Honorable Kennedy Japan tita for obia me chia obia. Honorable media me MPP ni that me 3 questions are maybe so.
Okay.
Because baby ayabedru as a country no, we need Ghana first. Tama ye as a honorable Kennedy Japan tita for ye campaign no. Ye konof, ye kovota, ye kobibi bibri. Bibi a ebe fabiano. Honorable Kennedy Japan discover bibi surunku a ewo sa area ho a. Yina yetimi champion a discover any impuntu beba ho. Bema sa nkrofon from those areas no. Omu migrate so omu bakra anase Kumasi. Sesiano bibi ayabedu as a country no. Media meaning for sure say December 7th no. Muna muba ben. Sesiano me question me say die ben na muba timi aya fa sa project no mu.
One man
can almost complete
no,
question.
Abe, let's face the facts. Me crofonu dear omu di kana kopim. Enu de yenka no kra no straight. Me MPP ni. But Ghana first nti MPP ya de na se enya meka se enye. NDC so ya enya meka se enye. Mahama time no I was one criticizing Mahama. Me criticize omu bebre onu ankasa oti hono me criticize no me from me free aflawu me free honorable Fifi Koti me constituency se sia ya blago mashi na ye MP but me dey me MPP ni secondly there may be sanu say given assurance na mu ma ye say MPP for corruption na ba no given assurance na mu ma ese mu ba yusu mu be yet bibi ti say fast track court ti say the way Kufo ye prosecute omu di sika no because say accountability ni ho a ekuru entimi nkoso because sika ye waste as a nation no esun chen de ye ko bisa o IMFCC a because tinasi say be ye party sema yentimi nko ba bia yentimi nko ba bia and the third one maybe say adentina sa contract na mu awardima those mu of parliament because enuntina make say mu because who mu be as a member of parliament mu awarded most of Ghana contract no foreign contractors and na yewo investors bebre wo Ghana mu ye Ghana ni obi ti say honorable Kennedy Japan obi ti say Ibrahim Mahama obi ti say how do you call it the UTV omo oska adentina sa project say $1 million project ba muntimi ngada those Ghana sikafo no amuni so omo ye investors omo semu obi muntimi ngada omo na omo ye ba ku na mu champion sa course no so that skanu be kakro no mu na say they piano mu award those contract ma foreign contracts and na omo ya omo sisa skanu ni na di ko omo just skanu wo Ghana enu na ma ye sidi no e depreciate no enti die ben hihye and na mu wo fa those ade no hu enu na meka for now.
Thank you very much.
Honorable answer those questions, mommy.
Thank you.
With that.
That was just UOP from France. Okay, honorable.
Yeah.
Mama Akwenya na the first caller no the na Bobosu na second na if
me da friend for that say I'm saying some of maybe say they are linked in some ways or the other. The issue say the contract they ma foreign companies instead of local persons.
Exactly.
A bit more capacity proven.
Sure.
Now that's on with me. I believe say me no one ya drink and no na eka ho bi ntia ene despite sika bebria aba omanum despite debt na ye ka say ewo ho because ya bobusha bebre no still yen cd ni bibia no ye weak because infasua every ekanu eba no ekoto nkofo a omu emfree Ghana enti drubri bia omu besesa omu sika no into dollars no omu di akọ but say wo boa obi a oye Ghana ni a ne businesses ne expanding no na Ghana fo ya na ye den omunya injuma ni den more say wo be kaya road contractors not just one person in our asphaltic machine as at 2009 you be take over but yet to me build the capacity of local persons bebrina to me says here then asphalt roads and competing with international contractors. Okay, President Mahama obey an investment in pharmaceutical industries. One fan koma any company be outside. And I one can say me party near now, me party. He looked at those who have the capacity and he invested in them. Those are the things I will say then yet was so and there are many business persons or more MPP no make us say abra na indisi wo ho no omunjuma then ko ye sen abra omankasa on party because the level of discrimination within omankasa crowd party serious. Wonka a certain clique who you would not be given any opportunity. So menene ya dream, and I believe that is part of the agenda of the John Dramani Mahama government. Wayebi earlier, but maybe one year no even kesiafe no babe no even more to be able to improve a lot more local persons. Osan beside you about proyene katashishe. Yes, I think John Dramani Mahama has proven it in the past, and he has one more indication biom say ono oma me kontia proyene katashishe only against omo mwechemu usu a obema wa kwenya say brana beye binu unnim na say bibi say sia onfa nchew
and the same thing na Nana Koka
no be say Nana Koka no wanfa nye edwuma Nana Koka wie na enye no na wadan no ho clearing o clear
Mahama ze Koka de beye
tie Honorable Abuga Pele no tie Honorable Abuga Pele men kasem fadesen he was a former member of parliament. Abrana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, a parliament, no, so a hobby. Ye de Jeda, Emano say, on Heso, Nyama be anko ye. For ultimate responsibility, they allow him to go through prosecutorial processes till he suffered the ultimate consequences. The same thing with national service. Ujaima prosecution and the rest to go on. He actually ordered say national security for then any investigations. So at least he has proven say uye bibia yem fan then yem fan chew as compared to
mra wo ho a mra betime dealing with issues.
Mra wo ho,
but we always bypass the law.
Look, the reason 90 ayeme time ye de special office of the OSP now it was something people thought say well eba beboa in some ways because Attorney General and Minister for Justice or your no colleagues na ya mu this aboni nti yenya obi onka cabinet maybe obi ye bibia or dinenua obehwe bibi fufu na wa ye nia o say oye the first person I didn't call who Martina Midu maybe officer on my may be before or buy no obewi no be free or no say there be microphone wouldn't buy and say on me kuntia proyene katashishe no ono na oye the mother serpent say owo ono na owo nkiti ono na oye the mother serpent of corruption before anu u free ho mi ayede na be so na anu okoye press conference na akaka krank usunye Osi onu die wa ya kwa kodu bibia onu bedru obehwe nya onu beye na wako because he is not getting any cooperation from the system to fight corruption. Enu ensi ewo ndc abres. We will deal with past and we will deal with present and we will deal with anyone who thinks onu oba abem because look many amemiti ha misro when him ya misro say NDC bana say yam hweye anye nyo wo say ye ya nkrofo lose confidence in constitutional democracy. That would be the end of it. And the kind of things that would happen.
MPs now some way so relaxed in all your constituencies. Honorable say
well, no, I don't. I think the MPs, or no, I may speak for MPs even sometimes from both sides. Ben ya and they say the system na ye running. So why you lucky now when menya ubia oye head of the executive? Maybe I don't know the right word to use, but maybe I don't have any. My vocabulary in 2 is weak. But Mamika say maybe na dream wo fie na eda ho emma oman no. Ombe suppress MPs no from doing ejuma or say omoye. Ma example. Ye wo oman no na MPs kra ebe press conference say the 85, the big 85. Say finance minister no onya de enti yin free ho. And yeso issues bi ba yama ye raise those issues. Ye koka say yenye den yen senza minister no. But echi mampeni friend one no, they forced them out of the censorship process. They didn't participate. They didn't participate in engaging in that. So and you say MPs, you know, sometimes they are unaware, but yeah, the pressure eto omusu. The issue say you had identifying the areas of investment in various regions. I know no data no ho. So we hear President Mahama name ran through 2020, and even before then, he had similarly, just like the way Kennedy occurred, he also has business mind. And to your he sees potential. Maybe who are tourism, maybe who are agriculture. Who family region say both agric and tourism.
Have you done something with your
a lot of feasibility works have been done and in na yebo
visibility, but nothing has.
Oh, of course, but feasibility na wait me.
When did you
feasibility no won't mean feasibility even to a level of say ebedru investable level, because why you say you have been able to identify persons who either have control over lands and have control over this and engage them, because sika ye feasibility me be horses now working to identify persons to come and do real feasibility investable what they call investor be name say the person will be willing to bring name and we have to abide emboa na yenye feasibility no to a level of what investable level, and then you make say bankable what they call bank bia or make us say this is good, this we are willing to put our money into it, and idea NDC yebe so aye then I've not answered.
Okay, all right.
In Jumana jai to ho. I think I spoke about it earlier.
Exactly.
Because uncompleted, make a public accounts committee. So we share the number of uncompleted projects. Yes, just schools, secondary schools in Kwan. If you are now share dormitory, biasi, now you just to ho, now you can sort for another one. Now no so ye now classroom ye. If you look at the number of uncompleted projects, yet to me, those projects now will not be having all these projects. So, many say, like President Mahama said again, say there will be moratorium on new projects. Now, ye old ones, no. Oba me constituency, that's what me enemy DC here. You see, no new project. Si kaka kra ebebanu, ye old ones now to reach usable level. Before I work, I say, oh, kwako our day another contract. But because they do a SEMA former GRA board chair, Professor Stephen Ade, but just that he didn't want to cooperate with them further, because he said, Minister nan kansa so cab, ya didn't know could be some minister. Say the interest in taking a cut is what informs awards of contracts. Because me award contract now, say contract value no ye say meji media in advance enti ejuma no be ye o unye o emfa me ho. So nobody is willing to supervise an already awarded project because no onya bibia anye then because it has been awarded. So the interest is yen awarding more new ones, and the more you award, the more you get. Instead of awarding just maybe 20-25 hospitals, able to me you say over 100. Because the more the projects, the more that
okay.
So whether the thing is done or not done, and funny pano.
Put you end to that.
Because you have to investigate everything. Look, because of 4 million cedis, and yet dollars, 4 million cedis, nipa renal patients 19, omo efamu yeden ewu. Because Kolebu could not, they owe them 4 million cedis. Now, nya obetini say 2 million ye di ama company for Sky 3 abra license kura umunibi. Sisa 2 million to cedis. Can you imagine how much that could have even helped people to be alive? So, meneno agreeing on the issue of continuing projects. Of course, tech-related issues, we have to continue to push it. Service to the nation mentality, and I believe so. Say, abayno belidi, but even our society must get involved because adie bakwa eya aira ewo yen ya bra bonumi de yen kanokre ena yen penokre so. Yen kanokre yen penokre. Yes, because look, we don't teach our children honesty. So they grow up. Look, we should be able to reach a level where adie say edaha ena mena medebe to ha entia BBC ya ye bisamia bintumika say oh mena me ye but I'm sorry. But nipa no feel say camera bia
sorry keke wabra wase ade.
Well, uka sorry no wia you take the punishment because what can ukre no so you bet ye de ye nka no kre no say mena me fa de ye beto ha. Because if you say Obiani want to na me so now you doing say oh maybe James, maybe Abeku, maybe Yenya no ye camera ni ho bibia ni ho no krenu ni ho nti na aka hosa. We need to develop a culture. We need to develop a culture of teaching our children. Me I believe say mama yensha say from some level. Yes.
And the among forces say NDC MPPO and some more rest.
No, we cannot rest. We cannot say the NDC should rest.
But NDC should rest.
Oh, well, baby, I'll say rest. No, we need to look at the educational system. It's not about chewing so many books and then the rest, but certain basic principles. Abofrano at yen church no credit those values, those basic values of life. Because after all the schools, after all the books that you have learnt, yes, have values, and ebema with your knowledge now with your baby papa. Otherwise, all the people who are leading who are leading the distraction, so muko schools are kesi. Schools are kesi main. That is where they attended. Yes, say Bobo universities are omuko yena. Omuko universities akesa ewo ha omo here America. America eko yenu omuso ye den eko.
Okay. Mamemfa Frank na yembono tew. Frank, good evening.
Yo, good evening Kabe yamishiro. Fast.
Yo.
In fact, yemiasi ama honorable more mileage ma wetu express no kama. I'm there. Ama Kofi with positive side or no area no into better nasi. Now at the same time, so we show respect to that King Jesse TV because on him there one of the MPP stand and kasa but with you on the organizers what the respect that madam media Now at the same time the pero also what I say there Ghanaians now one I know so until the first now a party now of late citizens will now focus on individual. It's a now or party no Casama, what you on there say, party and Kofi be the Chidamanda, the Manyaman or Sessa. Until once one strategic crack. Now at the same time, you know, the pere, Mimo, Otin was day, 24-hour now, or Derban, or a kama. Economy no babakere wana nkasa no won tsena ho ye ma like won tsena sena wa hyehyɛ nyema bi a obotum da yɛ wada convince more Ghanaians in a sense that 24-hour economy no oyade ho de dado ba e dey gu ho ya na adwere mba de papa because nka ehwɛ filling stations a bi mo yɛ 24-hour bi so wogye within obobe 10 11 na happen nke so 24-hour no hour da ba no so we highlight me here I'm telling you we be more yankasa because ehwe makwala odu enibi be 6-7 a ehon ya dark o kai shini we ni da menyamani nyina se ka 24-hour no olubumia ana woli gina ye ya o hiampure be ka wo be different friend factories ejuma na nkofo ye na keke na wana adwuru bobo de chale 24-hour no say na ye start to campa 24-hour no force ka betime yi no 24-hour na de say to new town wa printing press woni nyina na bi obobe 6-7 o happen but everyday say light ni system o ye ejuma kama street light ye ejuma I'm telling you 24-hour no obobu na nkasa anti da me factory na yen see new companies na ade na one year na de on mo fon me pere wo de be disturb NDC for why they want some policy no won gina bi ye no hu area sa wo betum attack so that go for na adwene babo wondo cause filling station dey be opponent tam total food dey be wo opponent tam because on there na la filling station wo opponent so that no support force free so wo the street lights in yejuma ntaro won so open say street light wo ho let's say other stores light yeah come I'm telling you see so be yejuma all right but me pere make us too much pere me nyanim zi oba now at the same time wa kwa the party nya what the nurses ne teachers what won dia what the politics into one so ba abed no ba be ne wasesa because we pillars meet e bi na alawa number yo all the time I beto aban pe na nurses we release one alawa enya to aban mo pe na we keep alawa no ti one so abed no be na we dis dem nyama no kwan all right na galamsi so no so very mu de cathedral wo bo tu ada na the one tu in case wo ba power
na NDC cathedral NDC cathedral no
it's a Ghana project ti am from the very certain time when we to no or ba wo ba then e won wo be airport ana de wo so wo be ya be the mosque
okay Mate all right hello uncle,
how are you?
Good.
This guy is taking the whole place. He kept our honorable Kofi Adams even this sport. Yeah, he make him sick. Honorable. Honorable, just wake up. I need to ask you some questions.
Okay, I'm listening.
Now I can see that you are grown. I can see that even all your black hair is gone, just like me. I left Ghana in 1998. Yeah, and I've been in the United States, and I love it here. So, my advice to you is, please, you are growing old and be on the right channel.
Thank you.
Don't let these fancy cars and anything distort your life. Because at the end, you go with nothing. Stay on the truth and stay on the path of righteousness, and you shall be saved. Don't think NDC, MPP. All these things are just on writing on the wall. They're all going to fade away. But now I've seen that you are grown man. I can see you on the camera right now. Your hair is going out. The women, you can keep them and keep that, side cakes. I know you guys in Ghana talk about side cakes. I don't know what a side cake is here in America. I live with my wife and I'm good. Like I told you, I was working in 37 military hospital in 1998. I saw Rawlings when he did his June 4th. I saw all the two. My daddy was in the military. working with Signal Regiment. Okay. I saw when that guy in charge of the Signal Regiment was killed. I saw them shooting and sell everything. Everything now going in Ghana. Everything now. I know your good friend Koku Anedoho. I know his father where they live everywhere. That adjacent circles. I know.
Can you be snappy with the question?
So my question, my point to you is, keep yourself together, and then follow the right way. Okay. But my question is, all those things that has been left in the bush by the NDC and the NPP, please don't go and collect anything. You two parties have to solve the whole thing before we move forward. Okay. Don't go and collect any more money. Let us deal with what we have in our port before we go out again. So the digitalization, continue with it, and thank you so much. And I'm happy to see you, boys.
All right. Thank you very much.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Let me pick another caller. Hello, good evening. GCOP again, right?
GCOP na Sambaswe.
Okay.
Abe, me person me bisa honorable question be.
Right.
Because yewo afari maternity ward no. Since Kufuor time, sa afari no ewo ho detiroti. Enti me person me bisa honorable say, nhihye ben na mu omudi to akwan mu say omuba afari hospital no omuba wie amana serve north. Any Kumasi, any regional, everyone pretend ho nyina. Ana Saglimi project na yenkofo yi abaya astop ye no. Mipa mucho sa Saglimi project no. Ehihye ebe na omu ye afa hu se Saglimi project no wie a ye di bema MP antimi factory enkoto Saglimi because eye project a ye ema hiafo. Entinu MP antimi factory enkoto edan ewo Saglemi nhihye ebe na omu ye fa ho because ade no edi ye ehiafo no wo because bibia omu di babia no omu di hiafo din na etusu ewia na esikafo no afactory na omu akoto na hiafo no edi hia na mi bisa so se ye power system no ye wo fu ye wo wia ye wonsuo ye wo bauxite adenti ehihye na omudi tu kwan mu se omuba at least nyanya bia no ye jebanya power no e ma ya sato ton ama Burkina ni Togo ti said the way a Nkrumah time eye ya onya SSA oton ye no ehihye na omudi tu akwan mu because we as a Ghanaian want to know and the way okan FFFS say omuba no more new contract. All the former contract na wo ho na enwie no omuba wie ni na nhihye ebe na omudi to akwamu because yanim say omu opposition a omu asem ko omuba power so a ye nchendi kwa because chance ya omubenya sesia no will be the last chance because me as a person minim say omu andi sufo na nkasa no omu ye corrupt NPP for no ensu eye corrupt sesia no omu osika omu ye billionaires omu politicians no both NPP NDC omu ye millionaires entinu ehihye ebe no omu di to akwamu se omu ba di omu adinu omu di nko di aka no ye bebo ho ban
okay
entinu no more manifesto ehihye ebe no omu ye se at least ye benya 10 years a policy and I say 20 years policy say abai bia beba bia no udi policy bi ba udi manifesto ba abai no bebo atugu because corona kasa wo hihye a 20 years policy a everybody must follow the obeye a complete e wo sa project no no enu na udi beba yes me manifesto ba we su say me manifesto ba there be and Shebe no muye because we as a Ghanaian we need Ghana first. That's what we need as a country. And Shebe no muye farm.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, Uncle Ishmael. Good evening. Hello. Hello, Ishmael. Hello. Okay. All right, we see for me pese oba na question na yes snappy so that we can answer them more. Honorable.
Yeah, now GCOP can be about and can be about party manifestos, any development plan. And until NDC abreso, ye say kaye a 50-year development plan. Yes, penny sika. Invite stakeholders. Yema National Development Planning Commission. A long-term development. So that kayenginanu ye be feed into sa long-term development agenda. And MPP for by under President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. Honorable ya also from Africa said there be omudie sa long-term development no omunfa nyejuma. Long-term development ene man puntu papa ye de eba. So that you set yourself say ye pese ye real from Accra to say Burkina. That with plans to extend further to other West African countries, maybe with collaboration with the other heads. There's a one plan here, the year, 1 year long-term planner. Now you just manifesto. Yen to me, yes, significant developments be. And here, as part of the legislative processes, we always say, in terms of some major infrastructural intervention. Obi subisa about ekabibi about the waste
management.
Management.
Waste na betim they produce light.
They produce light and for power generation for export. A part of the plans are the sea. Even currently, ye can say Abranti be eba Ghana in 2014. Ye activities manka ye manu the opportunity to do it. And Binti, but Matisse is now preparing to come back again and he's using waves, the sea waves, to generate energy. Omo yenu a down area ho baby. So we will not leave that steady and down.
Honorable, hold on. Me pesa wo three questions be ka ho preko because e be message questions no na wetimi a complete. Me who say Ishmael I was so Mama Bab so about Mama fa Ishmael first. Ishmael, good evening. Hello. Uncle Ishmael. And Mama fa Mama Babs. Mama Babs madwe.
Yeah, but otsida na adwi.
Nyame na adom asan.
Adum kriyala. Yo nde mamba dunta wa shwe djuma shaye ni nyina na mechia Kofi Adams. Me hu de nkofu ibisa questions na me CCRN. I mean my main focus has always been my country Ghana. Mo de politicians nwaba, they don't think about the country, they think about themselves. Fide say ya politics another yen to me nya nkobu man nti na edi bi mu esu de party fu one brand one boshe nti waba oda wodi o man ho do wodi ye adwuma na mo question yi de NDC me hu the way wa pick Mahama the be flag bearer na before Atanas one ye yan nti there was an Airbus scandal there where investigation. It came on the news in the United Kingdom that government official one Mahama. Why there still Nina NDC? You didn't so what Ghana, you didn't consider that. You still pick this person to be your flag bearer. It's like the assignment wale then. Net two positions and terms and work on the 2 terms. Obi odo hold sword twice. Wakada Thomas Muhammad said 2 years or so 1 year. We don't count it according to years, we count it in terms. First term, second term. When Atamis passed now, Muhammad was sworn in. So it's a term for him. Why are you bringing Muhammad into a pack of the NDC? Obiale nyini biewa. 3. Somebody like Semi Jenfi. He hasn't contributed a quarter, a penny to the taxpayers' coffers. Man shane ways Osidenya ska. So we address such issues, sir. You people are starting with accountability. Ghana, when it looks as if accountability in Yejuma. May we report the Auditor General's report from JJ Rawlings timing now. It's always swept under the carpet. The public servants, nobody can politicians. It's so sad. Na ya pede ya wusu de waba so wasu waraba ashafuna that proliferation of churches in Ghana will take hold of the vulnerable now. Enyaman kodiye. What is the NDC going to do? The wabotuma sit the wabama regulations bia wabama sanity aba religion. Now, how is our constitution going to be amended? Because the constitution was done by, we say, just one political party. That was JJ Rawlings' time. Edubuahim were boycotting parliamentary elections. Then it was drafted and just written by the NDC. And see, how is it going to be amended? That Obama sanity, system no more. Now, my last question is, since Alesha, from the look of things, Ghana is sold to the Chinese. China will take over. Mommy, uncle, be sister, or get a position, or you know, Ghana contract now. They've taken all the contract, giving it to the Chinese. How are we going to solve that problem in connection with Galamsey? There will be a lot of birth defects in Ghana. How is that going to be solved? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mama Babs. If you dear Mamma Honorable in some yanko.
Yo, okay, but me shall share from the last caller now. May call the way to the last caller. Let's say Airbus scandal.
Scandal, yeah.
Airbus scandal. No, it was identified. Say official government official one. No, is Mahama. Exactly. On any the first person that Oka say UK no, they identify say government official one no, Mahama. Tell any ubia enka say government official one is Mahama. A part of the MPP campaign agenda bia omudi a drive saadie no ene ma sa information no ebeto nipa adwimo omode eka to the extent say in a drew pointer obi to make us say UK no it has been identified because that is the information now omo eto eguho to say ebinu beka say Mahama ton temahabo abra on ton temahabo. But all those information are part of the package. One or the issue it was Martin Amidu and Orezi the issue of the Airbus and claimed say they were having investigations, and he was the first person who made aspersions or linky Adieno to the vice president then. Echi yebe appointing as special prosecutor no say ye vetting oko vetting ya ye bisa no direct question no and then he recanted and rather withdraw that allegation no and because he couldn't substantiate anything. Ye vetting ye oko ye special prosecutor no, he couldn't do. Look, the whole matter was closed. What was this whole Airbus thing about? From my understanding and my reading, there were industry practice. And Marquine say a particular company wanting to get a particular contract should get involved in some ways. So what happened? And he said the Airbus company, I think, were found guilty by the UK authorities. Say, Omu, you see other means to eke out competitors. That was the find that they were found. Not because I'm sure, say by all means, I know the when Kofi competing as maybe who use other means. It had nothing to do with government of Ghana. Government of Ghana got value for money for the product now. Omokotoye, Kasses, they got value for money. They got the best. But what is there for him to say about, because Obia directly has not accused him. When he went for vetting and they put it before him, he recanted. He recanted. So officially say Yabo will charge and Branabe Yano say una Debbie Obia Kaye. And also when you have brewa na say they say when dry bones are mentioned, then the old lady starts fearing. Na say when you have brewa na say kobo dry bones. Why should you be running around? So why should Mahama be running? Say okay, me na me government official want me baby yano. When he knows that he has not done any onye bibia. Sa Kasses na yekoto. We got value for money.
A representative of Mahama.
Well, whatever it is, no krena a woman say it is not Mahama. Mahama is not involved in all this. Nipa oko kan ye no ankasa oko vetting. Baby I say what they were evidence and echo. He recanted. H3 ye man was our position. Ubetimi aye ho investigation. Wentimi aye ho bibia. Obe free hono o see nipa ode no call ye no rather enoye the mother serpent of what? Corruption. Wow. That is at least ne statement as special prosecutor. So this whole idea about say Muhammad this Muhammad that then Matisa almost say
Honorable, hold on there. Hold on.
Say because so many of the questions have come.
Yes.
Nanka answer questions before you pick.
Okay, and my last call. We have my mom friend. Me fa caller where we are. Don't call. Hold on. Hello, uncle. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Abeni.
I'm Pajo Udin.
SD Japan.
Okay.
Abekuni.
Mpachai.
Because the last time my friend and I'm in Holland, so okay, I now see me my.
Makaipa, thank you.
Okay.
Who are
Yeah. Ayo, me da say. Honorable Kofi Adams. Any Chama Amamaso. The bomb of Basso Pine, my partner. Honorable Kofi, me who message na me travel to New York, continue. We are not for a while.
Okay.
With a machine, media, Mudin or radio, no sooner. I bet you there was so my acquired fair, young candidate and found. Here, and the Ghana woman. And me, a Ghana woman say, no, adding into Ghana to say, you acquire second independence. Any Baumia, with some money on with your Betty Ghana, any wood your Betty Ghana. The Ghana engineer you crack. $1 dear Drew. And the Ghana to say your rescue mission. I a person be other kind this home. Yen you end this need the kind, or be a mechanic home. Me yen to me the Ghana, Ghana second independent because the Ghana corner, to young Shane near side the man of truffle Baumia, yeah, and a Ghana a bit collapse.
Adiana yente da wa Ghana wo nso mo beka bi say sisi ya ko second independence
why who ha nso ti de course wa Ghana
of course yes
o da ha so see e wo de $1 sheba umi aseme no waka wadi so aseme no ne danado aka o maye enti mo me hu say me yan kasi ye kan di chinko ye nyina ye collect komna ne ba ne ye no obi afa ne hunje mo because na nado any Baumia, the Omudia Ghana, no, only a Mrs. Bill, so young Shania, Ghana, a better cry. And a bill so me, but some Michelle was say, Obi Abacasa and this in MPP, a Pibiano, or Boyano Creta. And you know, share you my pa, mamma, ye, share Terminal 3, share schools I will see ya, I can with them. Share hospitals I will see I can with them. 7 years in it, and I don't find and sanka, Baumian fan and sankai. Into a pair, and your pen and I do by the no why, on yes, she's cabby bribble, Virginia, dear no dear, or when you're Shintian, who can send this year any entity a pa, and you know, Clubia Bacasa Biano, and you know, correct.
Okay.
And the Yaslamo, the chat rocorano. Alpha a bass of one, Minia Kofi, what did I was him. Ubien who wobbled your mamma, you said your mamma officer, one, an officer to no MPP 4. And try Mutia 2016, 2020, track a second so Mutiano. I done a 42 mono. ɛna ma ne kɔba na obie ni ho mo betre akonya so mfie nso ni ndi sɛ mama yɛ bɔ ne ndi ka mo nkyɛ no abi nko nkyɛ no sɛ nko nkyɛ no ndi sɛ ba now obi edi bɔne eti ɔman no 7 years no aban mu na wontumi nkyɛ no na kyɛ ne kyɛ sɛ wa yɛ bɔne wonya hwee ndi sansɛm na ɔmanfo akeka no omunya kakura because you know officer one be a do mama munya kakura anti ni chat kakura no
what dey chat to us
tena dwumadie no yɛsrɛ sɛ obi amra mɛboa na yɛntumi ndi dwumadie no sɛ bɛyɛ bitumi anya ayɛ ahoboa na yɛtumi agiga na si hɔ na ndidie never again
all right thank you all right people so say this never again and never again me no atinga ba ira tinga honorable obetire ayi anna yakọ
I'll say the 2 terms bibi sir look constitution na ye dey ejuma constitution ewo sunsumani hunam
mo
and the constitution is so clear say mampini for whatever reason mampini untumi enye ne juma nas mfia aka less than 2 years the vice president ne be take over na bet encounter as a term eno sana the constitution says enti eno ena yedi juma. Then in other words, you are suggesting say obi a speaker kra na obe act as president na ye swen ina like to say maybe Peter Lajete nya opportunity to serve as president and any even Professor Aaron Michael Kwesu serve as president for some time and the NHS say it's a term. So if it's a term, that means Sankrofoni will be entitled to retire as sitting presidents retire and benefits all those things better yes sanity. So sanda no ma omumfa enye juma. The constitution doesn't work that way. It doesn't say that oath no and determine say a term. But in any case, no, as I may obi the Supreme Court. Ken Crunchy, Ediako Supreme Court say Mahama is not qualified to run again. Supreme Court of Ghana, or they actually nearly charged Ken Crunchy saying yem fining no untua bibi. According to one of the justices of the Supreme Court, saying no him say Ken Crunchy a lawyer and Kobema ya fining, even though when people go for constitutional interpretation and final, but they thought that he was wasting everybody's time. So that this has been dealt with already. The issue of says Sami Jemfi AC Dainty Nipano then is Sidana. That one, if Obi feel say Obi Sidana one fa Amrakwanso no DC area, we have the lawful agencies or say Yedi Assembly then echo. The fact say maybe who say Obi Juma in any government establishment doesn't mean say Nipano any Juma as a private person. Of course, this young person is a lawyer. You don't know briefs Wachrama a big company enunti ya bibi amano. And enya no kreso say onye Juma even in any establishment. Wa ye Juma ewo KMA. He was Kojo Bonsus, the PRO for what? Kojo Bonsu. Wa ye Juma ewo. He also worked with a friend is saying Ibrahim engineers and what planners at a certain point.
Okay.
Before coming into the mainstream politics. And of course he's a lawyer. Obia nipane private businesses in works now. Oh yeah. Say Mama Babs or any further evidence beyond this Ubitumia report yama say Shirajo say demo. Political party office holders are public officers.
Ghana Crown, we are not we don't take interest in asking people to declare their asset. Where did you get your money for all
and
this?
all those things?
They don't do it.
Nyame say political party office holders, they are public officers. And the Ubetumia report to any of the institutions ewo ho obi ntumi nka say o media me just party official anti men ka ho they are part so onto saa na mo no and for us the bet nya wo ka no de be nukure enim. Then of course also proliferation of churches we dem yenti ankrofo call sorry baby because problems are how one we are not helping as a government to solve them. Nipa no nye edwuma nti o se me kwa asori a ye bebo mpa ya ama me ama me nye edwuma nipa no enya bebia obekọ akosa ne ho yare or you see hospital no so a ebuo no charges no so high nti nipa no nye den entumi nko. This is why President Mahama is talking about and is talking about 24-hour economy. Say edwuma wo ho a wo kwa akoye edwuma enya ska will you stop the work and go and be in a church? Will you stop the work and go and be in church?
Obi di wa kwashe prayer camp bo so mpa se oba wanimu a onya favor.
So because the real things are if 24-hour economy ye juma no wo who would need to go and stay at the prayer camp say or bomb so mpa so that oba minima this one because in juma no wo you apply you will get maybe you bring even 2 jobs to be doing. You work and then be in school. Those times I was school, you took any work for some short period. I come back, because there was such opportunity. And the human who will have to go and be praying over obinity, say maybe me application because the work is there. So the 24-hour economy is solving some of these problems. Infrastructure development, solving all these problems. Bibria Emma Nipa. And you business take advantage that down so that a bejai or more moody no creno to function so that the charlatans from within has been predicted they will come in end times. So meaning say end time say then we will deal with that. Constitutional amendment. And ya no creso say constitution NDC for na omuchro constitution abra Professor Albert Dubois or boycott ye chiro constitution and sana ye koto aba 92 November. Professor Albert Dubois he din kugu no e presidential no omo ye wadwin say parliamentary ye be ye no 7th December no omo ye den take part. And they didn't but before then the constitution has been done through the consultative assembly. I think the current chairman of Council of State, I think Omunyinaye were members of what? The Consultative Assembly. Professor Udru Numapo, the chief of Navrongo, and many other chiefs. A lot of persons participated. But the Ghana Bars and Association, imagine say Omunko. But there were many lawyers who took part in that processes in developing the constitution. And on the misinformation and me correct but in terms of amendment yes the processes of the constitutional amendment as Professor Fiajo committee huejuma report by aban issue white paper on it. Then the implementation committee was established and Professor Kweku Azan Echo Court to challenge I think some of the processes therein. The court has since ruled on and seminal and isi abrana MPP ewo abenum instead of continuing with the implementation afena honorable Osei Chairman Sabunsuso okoti another committee to review the constitution again lawyer Kasati no dasa committee no anu say onye majority leader onye minimse or still a minister for parliamentary affairs so ana ministry no so ye gusa ministry no ye hu clarity about that say onye bioma minimia that committee no so ne hu report beba. So the report of the constitutional review is already there for implementation. So ye ba abenuma will see to the implementation of the reports plus other things are able to be here to say the Article 71 NS and the differences are between them and other workers of state. As for China for the contracts at the expense of Ghanaians and we cannot continue to do that. Bibiana they call China, Bibiana they call China. There are a lot of persons who can do many of the jobs in Ghana also Abrantie baako so eka bibi about 24-hour economy earlier na okakrama. It would over bibi to say waste management. Adentina ye markets. Ye dija na se a drew point bia ye jana ye jai waste na to handle adebechi. Nkrofo kwe jumano na waste omo cleaning street no so are competing with workers to clean the street. Adentina waste management no when the pressure is less. And my mind be this in the night I don't. If you are that late person who took who say the trucks are moving and sweeping the streets during that time overnight. So why should our country not function and enyabo 5 pe na everything shut?
Na say
everything shut. Even the road constructions. Anka baby wo those times motorway baby say ya na nka say ye no night time no. Na ya twa adichi na safe na nkofo be kwejuma. That's the time we are blocking the road say yes silly potholes. And these are all the interventions that the 24-hour economy is coming to deal with. And next, for a teacher for a year that one, a drew election timer, now about BBM, at least they have learned their lessons also. Say, we are now we school now, a Jumakurano, a Bimba, they don't even give clearance for you to be employed. Or when you are no more, we are using all kinds of things to block them from getting employment. So they've learned, I believe that they have learned their lessons and they will not continue that way. Cathedral. BBC say cathedral. Cathedral. Look,
was it good idea in the first place?
Well, I didn't think that it was something that we should have, because Obino say on only personal promise. Abra no yes our promise no. Nyame ye bibi ma na obeye. Enti se wo ko gina ho. Se nyame ye bibi ma wo obeye a. Then say ye wo na o se wo koye wade. Me fa because enyo man no e no ko gina ho eyesa. Abra no ye campaign so wan kan kire o man no say na maka kire nyame. Say through mo benya menya saade yi a Messi Cathedral amano. Then when you decide to say Ubesi Cathedral, no so minua, she baby akwa cathedral. Eho, yewo the forecourt of the state house ewo ho. Mo mutako Ghana muhu sisi ya dane ho eyiye park eho na ye bebe forecourt of state o ko parliament wa ewo ho yewo international conference center. Ewo the forecourt of state house no enim ho. Ewo is a facility for organizing big conferences. Uko wenim kakra yewo Accra Sports Stadium ewo ho eye for big gatherings. Usako Sports Stadium enim kakra yewo the Independence Square ewo ho so eye for big gatherings. Uba wechi kakra yewo National Theatre, another place of what? Big gathering. Enti aban eni yansa say me kwa koye cathedral eno so beye for big gathering na memfa nko baby foforo. Because who koye cathedral no wo ho na ye beye program bi e wo ho na yentumi nye program bi so e wo international conference center because the whole place will be choked with because ye bibi kura wo international conference nko ye ko parliament a bre. So can you imagine say bibi koso wo cathedral, bibi koso wo international conference center, and now weekend bi ye bon match e wo sports stadium na bibi so koso e wo cathedral? How will people manage that place, such a narrow place? And I ye be bubu adan so ebue kwan no so bio. Enti aban no ondwen ana. So in the first place, the siting of the project was wrong. Abra ye bubu adan foforo ebi wo ho a 1 year old adan, 2 year old adan, private person's investment ye bubu ni nyina to build a cathedral that has become the most expensive whole. And we share sika ya say no, we just wasted money. We just wasted money. Enye bibia yesi ashe nyankopon enumunyam. There is no way that type of infrastructure can be say ye see dia say Nyankopon enum, and that is why a lot of the religious persons many of them have abandoned that project. All the bishops have abandoned.
All right, Mama Georgina was so Uncle Franka Jesus was Mama Georgina first on the bus so can Mama Madre.
Yeah, bro, abe.
Mpomu ya dear.
Yanko pardon.
Yo.
Me chia obi a platform no so.
Oh so.
Ma babs, me chia pa me gidi sa onwe.
Yo.
Yeah, can it say questions am baby sa no. Mr. Babs e bisa almost. Sa questions ni na.
And they aka no.
But still no. What say?
They are when bisa no faka ho.
Aha, see anu me wo bi e bisa ana say wo say me bisa bi ewom. Anti me chair you are hope no or guest me no more studio or me chair o me na so. Yeah, can I say first year me bisa ne say 2020 no in the year 2020 tamana o mo ye campaign for elections no me wusa NDC for e ko gina gam say site I promise nkrofo egugaram say hono mo na wo mo say yensa ase ni yensuo sana na do say anasa MPP for so mo ba wo mo be make sure say wo mo stop nsa ase ni nsuo a wo mo say no wo mo be gu wo mo adwuma no ye garam say adwuma no ba wo mo NDC for ne de wo mo ba wo mba mo kwan ama mo ayi wo mo adwuma sani wo mo pe Emma boys no ni site wo fo no bo wo mun sem ase no mani age say nyina ye hu the way a yen hue asai more ni yen sa say more ni bisa wo mo say si an wo mo beto aso promise na mo ma 2020 no wo mo beto aso na garam say ho no wo ma to aso ase yen hue ni yen sa ase ne more na say this time they are ready to stop them. My first question. Second question. I say, me person me who the reason why can be out as a president or session one or more power. Our powers be one no me did say ni say anka e banisa. Because of that, to me, there was a constitution, one more a changing ye may be womb. Now a bini say president biaba wonu akasa na ase wo yi na IGP senti tem bia na ase omo control e wo sa IGP no so IGP dampare a wo so sesi a wo ba afoforo no ye nyina ye hu mode ma na wo bo adwuma na wo ye ne hyew ba ewi ase na ase akekere ne nsa egu nachi abanya wotisui akekere ne nsa egu nachi ama bibi wo kora wo se papa ne ya sesi a no ni je adum ana easy for example the same thing one more time MPP NDC time one man em so me let's say Charlotte say na do so ba ya wonu so akwakoyi obi foforo sani ama no mo ba mo betwemu ana na wo sa institution no wo man kasa yi se police fo wo man kasa yi wo mo pani na ma aban na ntumi anya control e wo mo so aban na anya control president na anya control IGP any easy for no so are they ready to change sa minim sa constitution mu dia but e wo mu a wo mo ba no wo mo ye ready so mo be change sa anyama na because more man nkwarenim bibi ni na sa wo sa IGP ni ya enam say obi na yi no mampani bi na yi nti do mampani ni beka no eno na wo so wo ye ni nyina mwa mo man enkoso.
Okay.
Ebini S Gracia. Are they ready say Ghana for ye ni sika na de biaye bro mesie gu wono mu akwala wo hye yefrum kra ye nwo no wo betua ekani bi na de mo ba munya mo nyina V8 ni de Land Cruisers akase amu yusu mo bu petrol free of charge in the expense of the ordinary Ghanaian ni nyina akire no Musa mo kwa 4 years later ya sen kukuru sika san de amam se efre bibi S Gracia ni nyina no ma ye ready so metwetwe mu ana se se o mbetwo so
yo
ena masan so ate se Oma brisu de na minim but believe so omu nyina sa pepepe nti na ya na yemu bi CNDC MPP they are all the same omu fi yefun ba kum edin no na sesa keke ma ya ti bebrebe se mo aban ba so mo mi adwuma ema ye kan say youth no enya adwuma ni bi nye obi atumi wie university tre fie be 3 years 4 years no enya adwuma nyeye a kire se ne ekoso no ha adwen yie now so mummy adwuma ma ankwala ni nya binye no de mo kan ne se aban mi adwuma individuals ne bi adwuma enti na investors so free abrochire ni other places e ba bi adwuma wo Ghana ho ama youth na nya bi aya musa tete Jubilee House woni de keka ho ejijiji bribe se mo ye ji say $20 million down and I say mo fan to one man san ya makwan amama yes adwuma no say no yenim kwa yenim say MPP 4 years ade no enti no minim say NDC for so the same thing there I can't tell but say they can say they are all from the same womb no
okay
sa na me gidi say wo mo so enti me bisa say wo mo ba sa ade no wo mo be ye bia na so wo mo de wo mo nye because Mahama campaign maybe 2020 no or can say politicians mo ye campaign mo kan okra kakra na mo di ntron so kakra etie bia say see me bisa this questions here wo ren mo nyam ni ti wo no mo answer questions yi wo kan de dedo ba e bia na fire ntro because wo mo ye a campaign for their party to win Mahama nankasa me hu say wo di ntro kakra na wa kan okra kakra ye nyina ye hwe sa video ni bi enti me bisa say there changes and one more bar, one more ready, so I'm be changing here maybe. This is my question.
Thank you very much, Mama Georgina. Yo, Mamemfa, Uncle Frank, is this Spain or Denmark? Uncle, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
At the same,
I apologize. I'm
Yahoyapa.
I'm chair, Honorable Kofi Adams, chair, I'm an aquaba. Nkasa free Denmark.
Yo.
Me so master ba kon say we nyina no me MPP ni pa ba te say na yaba no say o ma ma say nyina no ye say from nti no they say no and the American say they say habo ho asem na me ye container aduma me ye ba 3 months bi am tumi ye 2 containers they say aduma gu habo ho port ho duty say nyina ye jai container ye they say no betem bisa so omo ba de no betimi aya fa ho a they say ye ba ye betimi aye ne amatimi de abaga na aho kire be wo hore yeso no ye boa ye nuanom na so omo to no omo atom cause Ghana no nye ye nyina dodo na Ghana individual dodo na ye omo aye omo adwuma ye ntan say tournament ye say no ani nyina no eboa oma no but sa duty boy aye dendende yentumi ye ne amakora mba duty ni ama wutumi to cars kura obeto cars fofofo bet me ya car $1,000 kama what the baba Ghana wuntimi yi eni ama bo ha kura f what the bedu wo ma wuntimi yi ni ama no esi yentimi ye container bio just say hu say omo ba okay there no obaya pa hu
all right thank you very much
na ma sam ye nu pe na second one
so na one hu sa no second one
some be new pe. Ma do na wakasa be about 20 minutes.
Oh, bisa be bisa 3 questions. Okay, what dey bisa?
Some to me dey 2.
Okay.
Nti ma bisa another one ma here question. I pe azia asemba kwa dey bia me kan say Ghana no. At the rent control, rent if one, a dine high na ekunya ho kire bebre ba Ghana nyina no. Maintain say Minister na say flag bearer for na say obi agina ba bia ka ho asam da enso no eno na ma dodo na ba 30% na ma ho kire ba Ghana bebre me hu ba bia o ma bia o mo de dan ma han o mo do de dan ma ja advance 1 year 2 year 3 years enti ama it say go for dan bebre go point me han dan ama for the dan point bebre because of sad enti no Eda baby ya the time high was a month. No what you are to a month and what you are to Ghana and quad it will be just advanced to 1 month 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Oh, got this store at the same few 10 years. Nipa na obedenya sesika pudo na kwa behind dine. So, enti ne bubu na da bontini nyina da bontine gu abonam to me behind dine. So when yesika na yede yo, just matter te mbla ba ko pe ni mo be hye mbla.
Okay, Mate, only no me da se pa why? Thank you very much. Uncle Nyoka, good evening.
Abe.
Papa.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Kofi di eja amamenchi ano say me ni di komo pen but a check. But me friend as an MPP oba Chicago I mean me MPP omo secretary. Now before I saw MPP ever no you accuse NDC of a whole lot, right? Jida, Sada, Isopoton, STS there, right? About way by no, you moving no. Now we were expecting say, Obibia na what cause financial loss to Ghana no. Na kamrani ni bedi, what you say? Na kia confiscate ni pakona assets. What you say? Ni asa jelly ni pakona as long as embrano ebe allow. Eba ye no, ye hunisa. Election year yeba bekoi minim particular ewin and ye meet minka he say enso be kwa ekoso but as a Ghanaian no me the mania to form who say se akwa no atofo a case here ekoso minim say MPB enamase a opa choma no eti ama yen ehun say se no politicians na omo Ghana no akwa se abrobi ene wo omoni so omo nyina minyi otwe enyi adoa oti ase na me pesa ku ofi antwa ade we ntuo anfan cop parliament no ongoka se very soon no ye ni be bre omo nyina so won na the way ye be sie atiesi omo so no I bet you out of Ghana. I'm telling you, all of them. Because we have seen the same thing. No, look at Steve say Ghana for interest and form. Now, see a 2 months, sir. That's a cassie to see my own. And also, say we are many, they are few. The way I basically pro no because I'm telling you, I send that I can no. Because in who as if say, I'm only a G a diagro. Obiaba ne fu, the obenya any the on any ma any plan for bedino and open and omogina. And that one video here I will show you. And that 21st century. And here's for any work school there, say, oh Ghana. Meanwhile, and Kofi Chrono and your sika and your motor. Physical or your core and the far plane. And the best Newark Airport. A year ago. Oh, you be son say, says go unya finita. Uncle Phone and crack town Fambra. The man Abusumi Miensa. $3.5 million. Sikao, what you go for? Oh, and Katama, and to the says Kanabachi. Hanafusikao. And then, oh, yeah, do cook, Hanafo, among 4 years, yet. There are a new bill, Clarkata, a bind between years in this way. You a whole tire a manufacturing plant. Esi takwa ene egu ama nkofo for abotie tiles a expiry date waso a tiles no ibi ebi kura ewo kroma kura na biko awia ne awono ntino tiles ni bi akrake ni ala omo ama wo de ba man ni mu ama nkofo de hye omo cars asema papa ku nkofo yewo factories a ono ke betie produce esi kire. You name it. you're going now. And I'm sorry, I did the same old thing now because we are Katia. I say, it's going to be there. We can't, you know, fuck everybody. Yes, sir. Now, a brave bedroom, you will be on. You're the party, some like everything to you. Now, you're organizing or a coffee. Oh, fear, I need you. Honestly, pure home. Oh, girls question, yeah, like a rapper. I'm telling you. I'm being honest. I'm going. Every people about by on. Near to from. Oh, look at me, Western car. Sir, and never be a cost before. And Kofi be the Amasu more and yes, cano. Onaka, they will deal with it.
But no.
I'm not Jessica, dear man. I'm yet.
I'm what to
more. All by the same thing. Eti, Obams, Wokwa, Mo said, Yaniabre, now very soon, no, see it's Kuma, and you give a Johnny.
All right.
Do you see a of boss air time, no credit, and no like a bit chaser?
Mate,
I bet you come too rough. But I see.
Yo, thank you. Oh, enough questions to answer one.
Yeah.
My main fat last call, Uncle. Hello, Uncle Ishmael.
I'll be like Javinka.
Mpacha Matonka.
I'm up on them. One idea. The question is, one, the car, you know, for everything compared to me and another because NDC time they would be a course. Let's talk about say NPP I am more than NDC ever say. But I say NPP no more course another because and my be you go to ambulance come to can be any obi and dey see said ho if you can be but and say mon patch o my bon my mon patch o say bia na me bua any mo bi so mutiri ba sa go na we no ye bi because my Ghana boni what I'm saying both NDC NPP at now 15 years so that that's from sit for the Ghana oh ti mo nyina say obi bi okrongo e bi no bi riskade what I'm saying question we send me na so na ko bi sama when your question I ask you sir because me attack the same now we feel abem no what I'm saying we start V8 eko feel say the na e no kre
why
I mean we start that honorable Kofi Adams
also what did they
I'm not feel abem no Ghana property I V8 the tomorrow no I say come I'm return it back no
okay
you see on one return media what did we go good there
okay all right obey ya no
me
that's pa if you there my main fancy ha na my mema infancy course na doso honorable
yeah me
you taking it one by one if you we na mafa be 3 course na ya pon time na so
my main share free the very last scholar as I always do if you are being say MPP vigilantes be eba me fee with some military persons ebesisa 2 of my Land Cruisers and 3 pickups are now under me care.
Na ye wa wo dia na say
yeah na ye ma me dey say me ka me ka we are and now say they were under the instruction of the director of operations at the presidency Lord Kofi and THU Omodia the cars no ko share police fonsem and mamitiwa adodankwa ena oye hu investigation made me documents bibia e command and ochro report and they release my vehicles to me woka say I still have possessions of all those vehicles.
Almost 8 another
almost 8
also you can see 8
V8
oh okay V8
mienu. So I still have possession of all those my vehicles. One was registered.
But say government no ma MPs no V8.
Government ma MPs.
Say yes mo omukota na mo loan.
A loan. A loan and
but now
you cheer from
your salaries. Okay.
We start paying even before can be then beba. And government ma MPs cars. Ministers and a mon cars. Ministers and no much fuel free. MPs, ye mobile fuel. Ye can also a loan from you deducted from your 48 months because you are calculating your salary, how much you deduct ebe cover for vehicle. The only thing I buy and they say won't you duty.
Hey,
duty and
free
duty free.
Oh,
that's the only thing because any institution I prefer say you be my duty car. Na me dia ye juma because an hihye no emboa ye na MPs a ye free nkurase a ya kwan no kra enye because MP a o won kran na ya man the same car na me a me free nkurase a very far away me kwan nye no me so the same facility me dia no me de be kwa ba 4 years no be so no na abojo na nia ono de oben na kwan ye no na ono ne de no still enti omuma ye duty cars na ye di ye juma no after 4 years na ya ye ahwe the real state and value of it if you want to auction and you have the capacity to buy you can buy. I prefer say ye be my duty vehicles to MPs for them to use rather than this system ye loan to get means of what movement or ye ntuano akitua good for him or herself. So uncle ye ni own arrangement for the transportation. This system say ye mamu loan to say monko talkers muntua duty and no can will benefits. Me I don't like it. 2. Obia ni ho okwa akoye juma onim na kitua. Ka okwa akoye juma no na onim ya yetua right from the word go. But MPs no ubekwa akoye ejuma no ukọ ewieye no ansa na ya ka kire wo akitua ene ejuma ameye no akitua ye etua me no eye for MPs a omuye ejuma in the 7th parliament o makitua na ye de maye ejuma ye no 8th parliament no ye nim ya kitua maybe later this year no ansa na committee na mampeni atino omudire report beba ansana ye hu sika ye betua ye MPs ye wo parliament for this 8th parliament no enti omudi salary ne basa because nya ye tua wo no ye ntua ne nyina anti arrears beba so from January 2021 till December 2024 no na ya calculate arrears na abanu na ye di amount enye ni nyina na eye omusi yes gracia ubia na ya there be eye one kasa wa ketua omotete omo there be enye titi na omotete eno de yenka nkyerɛwo
okay
meti hai I am MP minim maketua sika meje no eye sika ye for the 7th parliament eno mugusu de maye but meanwhile all other workers no in Ghana no ya peja omo aketua already but ye de no de nia ye chiama MPs from 2017 to 2020 no eno ana yeje
na ene say omo yi sa system ni free.
That is why we are saying we also prefer saying kamebanu they should determine my salary right from the beginning because you say how inflation MPP about
no but say e dan ya aboso so e be beto account ma hu until you should know
enu na make say me a e beto me account nim no salaries for the MPs in 2017 to 2020
okay
say ye from 2021 salaries of workers in Ghana has been reviewed. Ya peja akitiano. Then so Article 71, let me go that in general. Article 71, including MPs, yen determine ya kitia. That dana na yegusu ye den edgy.
More per review update.
So it is the system that they have put in place na enye favorable to us.
Until you have to speak against the system.
We have been speaking. Some of us yakasa sa kasa bre.
Hey Ghana.
You don't sometimes report on those things. Meaning, inflation na abedi plus depreciation of the cedi. Ene miana nanu ya just be 2-3 weeks ago. Na dollar 14.9 cedi. Ako to 16 cedis. Can you imagine? Say now cedis. Now $2 at that time. Right now, how you can benefit from it. Look at inflation. Ama niyama boy then akosoro because of inflation. More money chasing fewer goods. So me sikana yam farmer me January 2021 ni ebe yenu with the mommy 2025 into me yes no. With him sir. So we would wish that the salary is determined and paid right from the word go. So mama yena ye advocate for that system where everybody and nothing that President Mahama ne promise say Article 71 oba be young wejuma ye free ho. Ye free ho no, it means that when salaries are being adjusted say ye 3% to na ye nyina no ye nya den ye nya sa 3% no. Na ye nim say okay nya na e wo ho say ye ma 3% me so minim 3%. Na ye nyina ye fa no sa. But adie ya wo be ye juma for 4 years and sana ya determine waketua. Na ya kwa ma warriors no enya dia papa. So having answered me answer now with me ba I've dealt with the V8 for be about ambulances in Southern in Yakam. You see, so ambulances make baby. There are choices. Wuti hey table ya wa fix e wo ha. You di ye jumai. Utumi Emma contractor na woman ejuma say on ye no obotumi abot table no complete ewo in the factory and say no aye den or the aba obetumi so aye pieces na or the aba ha na waba be ye den waba be wie no ewo wo facility aya na wa hihye no amount. There are individual ways of what doing things. This ambulance services that was the company Blue Sea decided say or the ahenu be then beba, then he will ship other additional equipment to make them complete ewo omainum. Now what the nyama akwa, because we are speaking to persons ewo abrochira eya mutade nyama konti sa die yonka mu na wo say muti ase yi. What the nyama kwa se wo na wo pese wo ship laptop yi na wonya de ko se habo na wo de ko se post office na wo de ko wo fill documents na wo throw so say consignee Kofi Adams and so on and so forth na wonya de share o nsape wo a wo de nyama na ko no bibia ye den efi wonsem. You don't have authority over saadi ni bi nipa eye consignee nipa or receiving nyama no na nyama no ye den eye ni dia. Because that is what the international trade says. Once you ship the things and you put it on the scene, it's the consignee no and nyama no eye ni dia. And because Blue Sea ni bibia omo ye wo ho, so they consign the ambulances, clear them. The other equipment now omo de beba omo be wie omo be hihye bibia no was also consigned in the name of what? Ministry of Health. Minia, since 2017, mini woka say nyama na ebaye later part of 2016 nyama no gusu wo habo ho a the Ministry of Health has not cleared. Just to make a case say oh ambulances ni complete. And they say equipment be ene wo ho a Ghana na ya do say ye ba be share. What you do is that you clear them. Then you give access to Blue Sea engineers. Now omwako then akwa kofiti sa nyamanu. Besine. Nyamanu the equipment have not been cleared to make the ambulances complete. Now say would the obia per the contractual agreement, you see, letters of credit. Letters of credit, any advance payment like Godfrey Dami wanted everybody to believe. A part of the contract agreement, they say, a buying be issue letters of credit so that the company no shipi inyama na omode sa documents indicate say ya shipping inyama no na omode akwa the banker why issue letters of credit on behalf of what government of Ghana so they can claim their money. So omu shipping inyama no kra wiye omu present documents no the bank saw some inconsistencies with the contract and referred same to Bank of Ghana and Ministry of Health. And Ministry of Health cleared all those misconceptions now before a bank no cry then it years company. So what did Atofosun do wrong in instructing say as part of the contract, or say a buying raise LCs? And the Bank of Ghana go ahead and raise LCs for the ambulances. It wasn't payment. Now, so they want us to believe, say, you can say letters of credit are advance payment. Letters of credit is not advance payment because the letters of credit will be utilized based on the contract. And the contract says it is when you have shipped in Yamano. And because once you ship, nipa wa concerning Yamatu, and ono na eye ni die. And that is what you send to the bank to make claim your money. And the ambulance in Sema aya omude ya sem enye no kre. If there's anybody to be blamed, like all other previous callers about continuity of projects, the MPP government should be answering why omo allow those ambulances to stay there and to rot when in Yamanu.
Do you believe at this time we should have schools under trees? Because some
of the questions. No, I have time to answer the questions.
Okay.
Answer questions because almost spending time and credit to
I got.
New kind be about say proye any kata share I so previously, and but he also admits the MPP is worse and that's why President Mahama has promised he's going to fight it completely and deal with it. Then you offer from Denmark be about duty war.
Yeah.
Duty no kesena ye because of poor management of the economy and yama depreciation ema ye calculate we are ye the ban ya also with your man boom na akosoro. Then e biom so ye sad some other fees abeto so to say COVID, waste management, pollution, this, that, all those kind of useless taxes now, Mode Abeto say Yentia for this and NDC by a base idea if we hope. So we will be able to manage all the things. Then Yenia Bar so Ebisan send me Mama Georgina. Say in 2020, ye campaign Onu say ye promise Galamsey as for. Say ye buy ye be more ye omujuma and ejuma moya he says na Adam ko akufado kuitia enti yembisa Mama Georgina say MPP we need 2020 no adentina ye nsuo no say even more so almost stop pay say galam say no. What we said was that enye chasing in Crawford a wo shishi excavators no enye solve problem.
Okay.
What you need to do is to create alternative meaningful mining for all those communities wo ye no na reclamation so ye then account. So instead say ombe kwa say ya ebe chesu no, we will create a responsible way of mining for them abime be in control of those processes. That's responsible mining. And no neye ni aye kase ye de beba. And they will not be chased, their machines will not be destroyed, but rather no, a fund will be created, including that what will be used to reclaim Nsaseno. Of course, in Sohu, Galam said, ye nya dia ye be makwan. That would not be allowed at all. I see, President has so much power, including appointing IGP and all of this, and Kofi more this and no a part of the constitutional review process. Ejuma. Say ye or see Omuji Jessica Mrantian Ketishano Ejuma, Naya Jimon Sika, and so on and so forth. Now onu nim say ekoso ewo MPP abreso na so ye nyina ye the same onu aso saka say NDC aba bedi ade for 16 years MPP bedi ade for 16 years nanso ewo nokure no 16 years na NDC bedi ade no one tie wo bebia say ya gi obi sa aska no ena ye fa na ejuma no na MPP ba ye na wo tie enti adenti na wonka say MPP no mo ye ave dia wo say NDC abreso dia mante nanso omo nyina ye pepepe ye nyina nye pepepe because enka koso anka be ye den nka wo beti one thing no menka say because MPP for ye no enti NDC for so ya na omo be ye there be ye nye sa de mu. So that's the difference between us and them. Again, I'm sure, sir. I think that may be all. But okay. This our question, sir. Should we think that there should still be
schools under trees at this time?
Unfortunately, we didn't expect, sir. That state of affairs, your system. But the reason is, sir, the government have failed to continue projects that were started by the previous administration. Buem Constituency, there were a lot of uncompleted schools. And then schools will continue to be under trees. Meaning, say, a new community that has developed, maybe there may not be school immediately for them. So, say, a new community, and abba, now a new school or is understandable. Now, so big community, including even crime. Now, on Hinebi, ewo bese Kolebu area ho schools are okovanda po ye chief executive or initiate ye no ya jaya to what and you know say ye hand over project no enfama no am pe kwan bi so ye de no na ye nwie school no na mbofra no entumi mfa ye den enko school ewu. That is the state of affairs.
All right. Mamemfa kola. Hello uncle.
All right. Yeah, hello.
Can you lower your TV set because you're getting a feedback?
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, let me. Yeah. Can you lower your TV set? Okay. Yeah, my TV. Yeah, okay. Actually,
yeah.
Give me a minute. Let me do this. I can. Okay.
Are you asking a question?
Let me move away from there. Yeah, my brother. Yeah, bro. Brother Kofi Adams. You have done a very good job. You have really spoken. And we have personally, I have liked you like before, but I could see you are a very good communicator.
Okay.
Yeah, but my point here now is, please, with all that you have spoken to us as we are in the diaspora and everything, we wish you will go back and follow the whole trend. And now I see that you are same old. We are all growing. So
you said it again.
Let us keep all this together so that in future.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Senior. Mama Babs.
Yes, I do. You're not a deal. What's it Kofi Kadibi about V8 will be said. I'm imagine there what happened transpired between him and Gordon Bediako concerning the V8. On kada na friend and there about employment. The NPP nurses we juma during the NDC time we create unemployment association in Ghana. NPP so one from Kofi Ejuma is the backlog from NDC time till now, and the main problem for unemployment and Makande it started when the curriculum was changed. Internet J. Kufuabena in Charoko back to the old system. Nay, at times by also JSS. So a lot of people are completing schools within a shorter period. Whereby we age men ye. Now if you see the why you matured to work. Me na aka wune sikenyu brain wado so Ghana. And another you saw talk about concerning 24-hour economy. Here me boom, your secondary school in the 70s, 24-hour economy was in existence in Ghana. So it's nothing new. It is a man a 24-hour economy, man in Ghana, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Gapoha was 24-hour economy. Paper Convention Company, PCC, Takwadi, 24-hour economy. Chocolate, 24-hour economy. Chocolate, they have something like Chinese. Pioneer Tobacco, they were all 24-hour economy. Even Sapon Ceramics, 24-hour economy. Who collapsed all the jobs in Ghana? J.J. Lawrence. He collapsed all the Ghanaian-owned companies and even the foreign companies. He collapsed everything. And nobody has survived it. It is a 24-hour economy, but from the world going, he couldn't explain it. He said, "Don't explain that. Yeah, Mason, Nelly Bine Dana, Ibenya light, pathetic. What do you take Ghanaians for? A China, yeah, will be me a Kasaka and what's a 24-hour economy as so it's nothing new to use it for campaign. It's been in existence in Ghana. Unemployment, how did it occur? Ejuma you we're close in Jumenya. Mahama told people point blank they say Ejuma no one told man he doesn't care. We don't care. No what it's a show or shama. And so to me, more but some can there. Ba. You people Ghanaians, we don't need you. We don't need both the NDC and the MPP. We want Unigov, that's Alan Chamantin, so that we can all get involved to make Ghana a better place. Yes, NDC, more governance. Yes, MPP, more governance. In my opinion, the two of you are damn useless for Ghana. And NPP under Akufo-Addo and NDC, you are damn useless for Mother Ghana. To be honest, I'm just speaking my honest view. We don't need you people because you people don't think about the country. Why there? You were sitting over there talking about roads. You are an MP. Well, talking about bad roads. Isn't that sad? Why do we have bad roads? 21st century. Why do we have bad roads in Ghana? In the 21st century, bad roads, bad schools. Ghana, India, Oyana. Takra did for what? Forest. I remember was secondary school in the 70s. Thursday, Friday, you should talk because of where we were afforestation. In the issue, in area no Kunkofa. In Jaya, no Ghana. Mama Chinese for during NDC time, Chinese for Ghana, and now it has become worse. Why they want to wind a champ on the time? Yankaji loan, Zayawan, Yeti Juma. Operation feed yourself.
Okay. Thank
Why
you.
can't we do that? You lot don't think about the country Ghana, and that breaks my heart because here would be then great grandparents they fought for this country. Two of you, NPP, NDC, we don't need you. Two of you, you are damn useless for Mother Ghana at the moment. We need Alan Chamantin to govern us.
Thank you.
Thank you,
much.
Adi.
Last caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Abe.
Opening good evening to say.
Yami Adumo, Ikwa Kunye.
Mo, Kose.
Yeah, Michia Honorable, and then for
right.
Abe, more question here, sir.
Hey, you.
Yeah, no, a short one.
Mindidio.
The any kind, Honorable, Minister or a ticket, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, or a ticket.
Yeah.
And you know, the question is that as a teacher, no. So now Ghana, and 67 or something. Now a school for a good school, a room. Now as a teacher, no, and then a Musana, and then a yellow. Oh, parliament. Okay, second. On my Ghana, no, both parliamentarians, no, I'm representing the whole country. I don't think you're too about it. If you add anything, I want to meet, as parliamentarians, no, and country, no, agenda way in a country, no, here, So party will be and also be a follow that agenda. No. But every election be the policy for forever. No policy not car. Not Ghana to Kenya woman. As a parliamentarian, then I want to all your family. And the third one, so the central region, western region, that area, Ghana, your resources in majority of the now, so who wrote the whole more? Oh, they got no income, entire area income of my own. But the beer and they party me a baby, a class circle. This is a go. Also, I happen on your rules. And you know, I come among a student in the town. The cabin is not any few animals. Not one who saw what to take Kuranu one I net any few animals. Move few on cross on the part. And to me, question, and then on your phone.
Thank you very much. It was your for masters questions in the end. Mamma, if you're a quite no miss a question, piece, young fat question be because messages to her. Indeed, if you're a beside there. Oh, there one order, okay, Baba.
Mira. Media man order, pa, me trouble, me Gusukra, me, and this MPP. There be a name me deal with top. The question a dick can say. Former President John Dramani Mahama. Now a Vice President to young Papa John Fifi Atame, so Yame Enfani Kra and CE my. Ebra, ya papa yi better than your jaro. Na economy no. 14%. Na no ye GDP. Oja homa yewura mama 2016 obi free hono. Na swati aba 3.5. Eba ni saying na sa short period no. Because aban kro no an na ewo nipa kro no an na yemu adwuma no na papa no eda no an economy na ekoyie no a na ye 14% no. Eba ni saying na ono de obedi so no as a president no economy ni timi tiba from ebedu 3.5 and sano or dane diama Akufo-Addo ne ba wumien ana afei adenti na Ghana no politicians and this ni MPP won develop rural areas no ehon na ye jopade free ba ehon na ye sika free ba ehon na ye aduane free ba ehon so na nipa te a omo ye kuyama ye adenti na mun develop ho no ene ye dwa ene ye car stations na muja ni nyina na ye airport ene ma akase na enso nketo no a eno na dodo no a use no eno de maja gu ho masem mienu peni that's
yo all right
ma me all the questions are maybe some measures here from Mama Babs. Say there's a lot of misinformation and there's a serious need say more time no yebenya kwenya o platform so educate nipa kakra because ye giant sa deliberately no nkrofo de nya eni ho no the beka sama eno na ebeba be den ebeba be ho because like earlier the question be obeka say NDC phone kwa no mu cultural constitution because Albert Dubois hinumu e boycott enye no kre sa asema obeka na enye sa eneti wasaba biom wasabe kan bibi foforo the fact say aban into me en creating jumano does not mean say enunti yemanipa entena school no enche Ghana we are not daft enti say other West African countries run an educational system ema omu youth every school term and to be able to work and just say because yen to mean creating jumanti yemanipa entena school forever now panin through age bianza we school that is a backward thinking government. Every government or junior man will let the kids finish school and start working abroad now or very productive. Now we now we retirement early and do so many things and still be healthy And you say when you near Quaco age, be no, now failure would dredge memo, open say, will cut to age. Say, oh, says you are the enemy age. Now, Nipa Nini crown to me through steps. Now, so still, Ogusu Ejumamu struggling when he should be on pension and be rested. So, a educational shortening and a problem. And you will say, Osanso Kabium say 24-hour economy is not new. Yes, ebinumwa ye bin penti ena NDC under President Mahamano. Ye babaye in such a way say afedie aban babaye no deliberately. Ni awoka ni nyina no private persons na eno mulidi omwade. Afedie ni aye kan say aban babaye nhihye ato ho. So that even the private persons omubenya humfaso, including but not limited to time of use meters. Enunti ebano sa we use kani no at that period nya ubetuano ebeye less than nyana utia originally. So that is one. Any tax incentives in others ebemo cost of production then abadown. So government is going to deliberately do it as society say na ebinumu eyebi danu on their own. Now we want to do it deliberately. That is the difference. Then Osansu can be about about bad roads. In Ghana. And Argentina, MPs and the rest, and bad roads, bad roads, Ekwanya edaho from Newark all the way through New York to Washington and beyond. Ye jai to ho for continuously for 4 years. Now ye maintaining ebesei.
Shahada na yendi ye maintaining.
Because abaimboni aba wabe na ju say sika kakra ye nya ye di maintaining roads no kra no tolls no ma ye njibiom. And he say wabayaba MPP aba beteki very bad decision. And the sources of revenue are boya ma ye maintaining ya kwano we say wonjibium. Meanwhile mubeba no Dr. Bawumia Beka say you just need to build the roads and toll the roads and pay for them. Afede muba ben mu tolls na wo hodada no mufa kwan bone so etwa free ho. And even if the roads were built by John Mahama and they are not maintained, they will be damaged. To say motorway ene Ufa motorway, so that's the way here. Motorway potholes, huge potholes. Yes, son net here, and I had fixing motorway. Air concrete. Ade, Bonnie Ben. So the MPP has disappointed her. Mon can say MPP, any NDC. The MPP has totally disappointed. And the onka direct. Mongo can say, oh, maybe. Ye MPP for asem ye diwechi supporte won e di yesika kohye mu afedi o mu aba no o mu di boni na wa fa MPP boni o mu di no e di aba ba hye e di coat na aba ba hye NDC enti o mu mienu nyina enye enti yenko for alarm
no for from
yeah. So clearly no she is not well. We have always given this government a better governance more involving ye involve persons from other places even Cadbury members of what the NDC. We go for people who have the capacity to be able to help to deliver. That's all. And only yen focus. So we will continue to do so. Say obisu bisa about say Argentina schools and trees MPs yen insist say yen say now this is how things must be now. Unfortunately, it is the executive that will bring budget indications and yama for parliamentary approval. And the idea now say chinchina, that is what must only go in. That you will refine. That is what you will refine. And we in NDC, we are determined for the well-being of our man. And in 2021, when him say, yen party leader, John Dramani Mahama, at the elections in Echo Court. Now, so a bra asem no court to Krano, because we know Ghana must be run. President Adodanko Akufo-Addo, heading ministers by, we pass them. 2021 budget kura na enye finance minister Ken Oforiatta no present honorable say chairman Sobus no present. We approved it. It was in 2022 na yemu say afedi o mo asase o mu tu anamo boni bia ebe how mine no even more. That was when we rejected that budget because of the e-levies now modeba yenji toli biom you say that budget they have started a certain trajectory otherwise say then they would have started from 2021 we nominees cry by abra na ye court we will not vet them, we will not approve your budget but yes sir, because we thought say there must be a government yenchwe nya Supreme Court bekano whichever is declared no we can carry on from there. But 2022 afedi you say sa ene se ba umi aka say e-levy nye yenchwe free no wo hin abra na ye ka say e-levy enye se o say yenkofa toll mbra bioma no wo hin ye ka say toll na omutwe mu no enye. Where was he sleeping or what? When did he wake up? Has he informed us that he has woken up? So the MPP has been a disappointment no omunkasa mo mumfata de no emfa mehye NDC enkasa yenyina the same. Then of course the issue of central region and western region being a resource base and enuntie na da wo hwe NDC and shishe ni nyama ye ni na we factor all those areas in our decision making. Where regional hospitals are see or Cape Coast, where Atuabo gas processing are yekoye no western, where akwanya omuye wo ho. We yi akwanya NDC yi ewo central and western region. There's no other proper route ewo ho. Then minia ebebisa about the GDP growth rate. Well, the GDP of 14% was a 1 year GDP. That was at the time the oil production ebekan the cocoa production for the first time. So we saw the highest GDP growth rate of what? 14%. At the same time also a single digit inflation for a very long time of less than 9%. So that happened. It doesn't mean say the average of 2009 to 2012 was 14%. And our year ending tenure it was 14%. But one particular year GDP the growth rate was 14%. Because of the oil and the cocoa production. Now, 1 million ton at that time. Oil also came in. We saw good growth. We had 14%. But it didn't mean say it was 14 every year. It wasn't 14 every year. So also na ufa President Mahama na bresuswa. It wasn't 3.6 every year. Yenya some years ekosro. Yenya some years eba form. Na everybody knew the impact of the energy crisis on industry and growth. Obianim say the energy crisis na ye experiencing and which he solved. At the same time, also, Osanso Hyeso, Emma Sankofa, and 10 fields and also produce oil, and this government inherited all those things. And that is why American Eka said the Economic Intelligence Unit predicted a minimum of 7% growth rate from 2017 on. And that growth rate will have nothing to do with any new policy initiative. Whether we year BBO, 1 year BBO, that growth is given based on the activities that have happened before. So the end year was 3.6, but it wasn't 3.6 every year in terms of what growth rate under President Mahama. But we seek to make sure say we develop it and develop more. The kind of base we hear no rebase, and this is a non-rebase figure. So we hear the rebase now, later. Rebase now, it will be higher than this. This is a non-rebase figure. Rebase now, higher than this 3.6. Then
me you interested with the last question.
Then no me by.
Okay.
Adentina yen developing the rural areas. The rural development is part of our key processes. And abra na NDC wo. The district assembly concept and the support to the fund was happening regularly. Those times are na NDC wo every quarter. Allocations na echo minimum 350,000 Ghana cedi to a district every quarter. Ene amini wo kase ya inflation aba cedi ya depreciate enyama boa kosoro. A quarter they don't even get 200,000. Oh, then they send you something. So a better than a rural development in better than Bekoso. Because the key source of support for development in any the District Assembly Common Fund. Says here you take decision in Bibia at the central level. Look, currently ongoing, and they say your total machines are compulsory for every district. Say we here grader, say we here grader, you see G grader, G compactor. G tipper track. Meanwhile, we call districts be a problem on drainage. And in your munyano any dredger. Ebe yi got a number then amahon and ye grader. Now so because of being interest in yentos idea in Emma every district. So the local governance system, the rural development component of the local government in Ayera was sustainable. This was not the case under the NDC. That was why a lot of projects were initiated, both from the central level to support rural development and also the district level, the local governance level at the district, municipal, and the assembly levels. Of course, a number of other interventions are like the fiber optics now, from the south all the way to Upper East Pusigano is intended to open up these rural communities to internet and technology facilities. So clearly we cared about development.
I make impact your Bamiane digitalization.
Of course. Now Baumia the investment Bempa na MPPI in terms of digitalization effort. Look, first and foremost, what I say, omu be Google address already. Say omu GPS postcodes. Omu di Sika. You think that those codes work alone? America say what the code no share. Say machine no ekasa ebobo edimbi Mumfa Melberry Road, Mumfa. So first line of project is to name streets. The street naming project that was to be captured onto the system was done by the NDC. Me baby amiti those times I hear you no can say the street walker I hear there betu say mempe. I don't want any street name after me. So that street was named, I think, Fefeti Drive, and then the other one too was also given, and them I didn't accept it at all. Yeah, all these naming and everything, and put all the systems in place. The fiber optics was laid by us. Someone said, MPP by and no why. Dr. Baumia was presented to us as economic messiah. I feel the economy no, why should economy not fail? He himself in the earlier days, or see Omukra solid economic team. I feel the Omwa failure or Baumia and Kai economy biom. I feel the Wadane no IT expert. Nia adia enye nunti na yede uba ye no afedi e ho na wakwa kowie na nia nti a yede uba ye no wa be say hopoto wo mpese ye be ka no. Meanwhile you have done nothing. If there is anybody who should be credited for our digitalization effort, then it should be John Dramani Mahama and Dr. Ekospi Gabra and President Rawlings and the rest. Because look, before then, who say we are foreign caller, who be buki ewa Accra. Now I go back to Ikurasi. It drew time now. Now your friend will say, "Bra, na be ye will call." It was under Jerry Rawlings, And I say ye expanded system yi. Kofi Gabra say as a communication minister after 2 years he handed over to John Dramani Mahama. John Dramani Mahama continued. Then later as minister of communication, to do the necessary liberalization of the airwaves and all those things. And when he became vice president, he continued. As president, he continued the digitalization effort. And this Dr. Bahumia is talking about digital. Look, passport, digitalized passport. Even Hannah Tete was the one who launched it as Minister for Foreign Affairs. Dr. Bahumia said, "Oh no, yes, you can add to, but the thing has been launched, done."
So,
and I say, Ukra Ghana card, you don't need to fill any form again. You just take it and then they will print your passport for you. Say, look, this guy doesn't even understand what he's talking about. Say, me Ghana card, address and things that I used. Maybe I used based on where I am.
Yeah.
Now, Bibinti, I have moved to another and I haven't updated my data on it. I cannot just take that with the old data to go to have my passport printed for me.
Very, very
when I have changed my distance. So that cannot happen until baby then you clear the same card. So the guy is just talking because of campaign. He's just talking. Promise as you go. That's all. That's the type of campaign Baumia is running.
In fact, honorable Wayade, and I don't want to take much of your time. It sounds so you need rest. Yame Yaduma, Sadia Baba, time near day
2 p.m. exactly 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
The place is 52 Park Place, Newark, New Jersey 07102.
52 Park Place, Newark, New Jersey, Penn Station, Hope. Enti Eusia for Yame Yaduma watching NDC for where there's some Masuma. I send this campaign and yet off baby. Munya message in so beto omanfo so apart from say mo bash MPP no munya message ni ye pa because 24 hour
message
yes 24 hour economy ni explanation
but for now MPP are disappointed on no more can say because MPP aye boni nti NDC for so aye boni here for no
say as mo MPP the o my year no I don't know NDC communicating more.
Well, no. Yeka about our 24-hour economy, yeka about size of government, yeka about infrastructure development, yeka about all those things.
Also, be a proud could have the same ideology, but as how is going to implement is a case here.
Then we relate it now. You near all canokre near why bipe John Dramani Mahama
was free SHS now say attend more.
Oh no, na free SHS in the manner air kosui.
Say Obakra Kobiana.
That is why I'm worried. Say meba
quality of it.
Meba or Wesley Girls High School. Now in there call Wesley Girls High School. And I'm saying that why should my child go to Wesley Girls High School and not pay a penny? Because I'm not paying, who have capacity to pay, it is affecting even on one or money capacity to pay. Because I'm being forced not to pay. So I'm not paying. And the quality no so yeah then bad down. Senka omuye system in such a way say I will pay. Say me I am helping government so that government will come and add a little now on the bebano. So quality will be sustained so that nia wo say wo boano no won't call even further down. Any nia our capacity no won money pano and some so low. That's what is happening now. Then then they will now go back and now the same parents now you are forcing them to now contribute to do many other things.
It is because your man are free because I have free SHS no right from Mofrasia Mebenya 3 Obekwa kosi obewie SHS no
because they have reached and no emma quality ni then madam pe videos na ye dey kire eduane a ye mamrantie no oba na okọ school no odidi okọ boarding for free? Is it boarding for free? So I don't think that yen in such a way say, okay, like we were talking about earlier, let's start it this way. Say your body now, Odekwa, Kofi Adams, you should be able to pay for boarding for your daughter.
Exactly.
So we wait to your boarding. Who saying these ones cannot, and the data is there. We are just being lazy. And the M-Pesa, you better check data.
Who can afford?
The data is there. The data is there. We are just being lazy. Ebini Wi-Fi for schools, you know. Now I sorry say, oh Ghana, as if say there were network baby. So you go and give contract that Wi-Fi for all schools. Meanwhile, communities be okra, even voice call okra won't mean then enye. So how are you awarding the contract for Wi-Fi? Abra network anyhow. We are just being lazy. And because your money is car and yamisika and yeah, so you are paying 56 million Ghana cedi for non-existing Wi-Fi. Aden.
All right, thank you very much. Now, Falas Nevi says Alan is the deal. Mama Georgina says greetings back home, my lovely sister Babs. And Rico Swan says Babs, you are the best. Oh my God, you are Mama. Yes, Mama Ghana. Yes, beside Mama Africa. I say Mama Babs say Martin Amidu mentioned Mahama and this has nothing to do with the MPP. Falas Nevi says Martin Amidu never said that about Airbus scandal. Yo, thank you so much, Rikus. Now Ishmael says I'm at work and I have bad connection. Can you please ask him about the V8? Yebisa dada. Let me be jumping down through because questions Yebisa Nina. Now Osakam say Uncle Kofi Adams can lie. He has chased for cars by Gordon Asare. He was chased. Yes, Gordon Asare be chase you for cars. Yo, if Yamido say you are talking about roads as at now, why do you pay yourself by dollar rate? And see as William say and say Ghana nka yesu so dollar no so wo yen yankasa ye local market.
Well, unfortunately, the policymakers have not yet see some forest bureau dealers be as if say omuno muye problem. Na say appointees na nkasa ekipi dollars e wo mun pass ya e dey na ebisi. Ye JC abuchi a onukura just $10,000 as if say onu no ye problem. Meanwhile, in Pinifon Nankasa, ekipi all kinds of foreign currency under Mompasi. And Munamoka say Ubikura de 3.something million
$3.5 million.
Eddie Abaha. And Ukra even news to me. Me Sesiana meeting. Sesiana meeting.
Oh, there be me waiting.
No. And Ukra. This is the first time I'm hearing it.
NDC
news to me.
NDC MP, I Ghana say Asansu Buachi the $3.5 million. New airport, yes, easy.
Me say this is news to me. This is the first time I'm meeting. Me minti no krenu ya me minti.
Hey.
In fact, Ghana say.
When him say because of that, say the way penina say wo ba, they look at you some way. And when I was coming. They were asking me all kinds of questions. I said, look, if they like, they can carry me into the room and no me search fully. Now, onokra 10,000 now, or cano, maybe more than 8,000 credit free. I'll still meet the threshold because I wasn't carrying any such thing.
I'm saying, di adwene edechia. Yabeshu esio frau. Mama ya kwa na mfa dwumadi ni nsi ha. Yada mo ase 4 solid hours. Enya easy. Me pon adwuma me nkofie me nidi ye. Nsuo kura nkama no. Nti mesre sementimi amfa wo kola. Enya buapayo. Honam na ye mre. Why? Montima se kakra na ye nyina. Yema bibia nkoso. One of my Sunday message, Willie Ashley says, Mahama said, you have to lie to win votes. Is it the best thing to do? Ben Bronx Abe, Can you ask the Honorable Eba Cecilia Dapa, what are we going to do to set an example to so our leaders don't drag the name of Ghana in mud? Mama Georgina Sabe, please, I just want to know the meaning of Ofosuam Pofu and Mahama saying no contribution, no chop when they went to the US. Honorable Yano Pano na Yampong.
I say no contribution.
I say the Nienti of Ofosuam Pofu no Mahama can no contribution, no chop brought by US.
Mama and Kabi. Ofosuam Pofu na kan I am a president. Mama crash shaking it. He said no. Satam no mun to abano.
Okay.
Okay. So you see how they always say Mahama is a threat. Mahama is a threat to Kofi Bebreinti. Adie bia o mo beti so mo feel say question mark was no say ye de Mahama edi mbebam.
Na one thing and another can Ghana cannot afford the return of NDs, especially the leadership of
unfortunately only record bia that will be destroyed. The record that we want to destroy is what? The record of family and friends, the record of nepotism, the record of corruption. And no, na yepe say yes say no the yebe say no. We don't want that to be part of our governance system again.
All right. I'm on for it to make just 4 hours into be a quada. I can't hear we see you hire to your great better as and the other Muina say honorable Kofi Adams MP Dema Buem Constituency wo Oti region. Na yada sepa honorable na oba hano oshe aha to say.
Oh well, it's good. It's a beautiful place. The last time I remember Hano was in 2013, and I've seen that quite a lot of changes have happened because I had 2009 and 2013 with President Rawlings, and a lot has happened. We may not get a chance to do it the way but we can pick a few things are right and to be able to take it home to develop.
Now, Oba, your studio hanso Adena.
Your studio is excellent. So
thank you.
Because the truth is that usually Uba Brochina say we call studios and yet as beautiful as this, and you really have a beautiful studio.
Thank you.
And well spaced. Well spaced and very neat from outside all the way into the studio. Those times we call, especially we call UK and some of the stations, that's they will call live program. Which the Anna Haswe.
All right, thank you very much, Ebusiafo. And this is one does Mumbra, Yejumano, Embo. And Yenia Penny James Amameso. Udin Chasiano Sanchez Bium, Edepa.
Yes,
Amameso, no?
Yes, Amemaso. There were differences, there were diversity.
Right.
So human diversity.
Oh, it
gives you an idea that we are not going to look the same. We are not going to speak the same way. We have different temperaments, but we have to suspend your. You have to suspend your judgment. See, we see people and we judge them without listening to them. So, when you have that in mind, that we all not the same, we all don't speak the same way, we all don't look alike, we all don't have the same height, size. We make room. That way, we can appreciate the values that others have in them.
All right. Thank you.
But my last point about this NCNC, because Mukra Makaho baby, and I'm saying, say, at this moment, say, when him say, oh, I dream Pabia Dema on mine now, this is the best time for you to come out and bring those ideas.
Yes.
So that, formulate your ideas, manifest, baby. So the no contribution this is also part of it. Say why yes, why jinchre won Fabra says ya na yen fan share yen humana ye de co elections. We don't sit somewhere and you don't bring those ideas. Now you are afraid who be piano in another way ebe so difficult for what implementation. So there should be contribution now, so that tomorrow it can be part of the implementation. Evolve into policies for implementation. And yet, chop as in eating. Sure say that's what he's saying. But of course, but of course, when you win an election, even why Joe Biden oko appointing Kofi omonka ne ho. Joe Biden oko. No, but the institutions that are there will be there. But there are people that the president will come with. So now Joe Biden appoint one where they not part of the Crawford no one year Juma. Trump call and yen Crawford na odd one call. So that one maybe that is the direction that he's talking about there. Then I don't see anything so much wrong with that, because when to me Kofa will be from outside say Ombambeye part and parcel of when the person don't understand the focus, the ideas, and then the rest are Wokoye implementation. So
all right, thank you very much, for Franco's Ankrabe. Sometimes you have to check some messages that can help you to ask strong questions of you if you don't have time to read all. Thank you very much, Uncle. Mama Bab Sabe, please, I read that. Franco Su, thank you very much. Ishmael Omaye, $10. Thank you very much, Ebusiafo. Ebusiafo, hana medemusi, medamu ina se. Nyame aduma watchina yebesan at the morning show Abramo. Onapa Doreen Owusu HR financial professional will be on the show. We're gonna bring you live. Thank you so much, Efremi Abeku. If you're a time Abramo, I know I will not be able to satisfy everybody. Forgive me for that, because Metian accommodated me since morning. I know most of your questions could not be answered. There will be another time. You say my open floor no am above MPP, NDC, Cheddar, Alan, Obi Amra, Namombebo Muntu, Anagana Funti and take decisions. Near Honorable Kofi Adams Abeke, Obi Jinaswaf and Huadring. It is San Yano, into Yadamose Pa Yami Admochina, Yabasan Edishia. Keep subscribing to our channel, Ken's Jersey TV on YouTube, Ken's Global Platform on YouTube, Ken's Jersey TV on Facebook. Afe went to me, Ube to me, accommoding Ghana, and our tuning, you're gonna be with us. Thank you so much. Yami Admochina, 2 p.m. And this in Penin 4 and Kunina, Eshim, Ewa Newark. Homra na yamwa na wonjume diene nkoso like us MPP. Honorable Kennedy Japan, good evening to you. One Mama Chrissy, thank you so much. God bless you. Bye bye.